Chapter 21:11. In the end, Morong Yu still followed Yan Jingtian to a mountain peak of the Tianji Palace. Yan Jingtian's palace was on this mountain peak. Morong Yu, why did you join the list of 100 talents? Yan Jingtian suddenly asked a question that didn't seem to be a question. Of course, it's for the benefits of the list of 100 talents. Morong Yu blinked and said without hesitation. Yan Jingtian was stunned. He originally thought that Morong Yu would say some noble reasons, but he didn't expect Morong Yu to be so straightforward. However, if Morong Yu's purpose was so simple, Yan Jingtian laughed in his heart, feeling that his plot had succeeded. Actually, these benefits of the list of 100 talents are nothing. Yan Jingtian pretended not to care and said. Morong Yu acted surprised at the right time. Are there other benefits? Yan Jingtian nodded. Of course. When he said this, he stopped and didn't continue. He just looked at Morong Yu, as if he wanted to arouse Morong Yu's curiosity. However, Morong Yu's reaction was so calm, which was very different from his imagination. Finally, after a while, Yan Jingtian said gloomily, Morong Yu, aren't you interested? I'm very interested. I'm waiting for you to say it. Morong Yu said with a smile. However, Yan Jingtian really couldn't see why Morong Yu was interested. In fact, Morong Yu was really not very interested. After all, he had the Xingyang Taoist mansion. What treasures didn't he have? The Tianji Palace had many treasures and benefit. But how many could it give him? Instead of competing with others to get a few treasures, it was better to use the time to cultivate. Yan Jingtian was quite depressed. If it were other people, they would have fainted from excitement after hearing his words. However, Morong Yu was so calm and not interested at all. This made Yan Jingtian suspect whether this guy was too careless or did not care at all. However, who in the Milky Way star field did not care about the mysterious Sky Palace? Unless they were not from the Milky Way. But even outside the Milky Way star field, the Tianji Palace was still a terrifying existence. How many people could not become a disciple of the Heavenly Mystery Palace even if they broke their heads? Morong Yu, the Heavenly Mystery Palace is not a power from the Milky Way star field. Our Heavenly Mystery Palace is considered a colossus in the endless starry sky. We have a branch in almost every star field. The Tianji Palace of the Milky Way star field is just one of the countless branches of the Tianji Palace in the Milky Way star field. Morong Yu's potential was too terrifying. Yan Jingtian would definitely not lose such a genius. He had to get Morong Yu into the Heavenly Mystery Palace. Morong Yu's expression finally changed, but he quickly regained his composure. So, what does this have to do with me? It has a lot to do with it. As long as you become a disciple of our Heavenly Mystery Palace, with your potential, you will definitely get the focus of our Heavenly Mystery Palace's headquarters. At that time, your achievements will definitely not be limited to the celestial realm. You will definitely reach the true self realm. And if you stay in the Milky Way star field to develop, the celestial realm will probably be your limit. Yan Jingtian explained to Morong Yu without hesitation. What level of power is the mysterious Sky Palace? Morong Yu pondered for a moment. To be honest, he was also a little moved. If the mysterious Sky Palace really covered the entire endless starry sky, joining this power would also be beneficial. This you don't need to know for the time being. But you only need to know that our mysterious Sky Palace is a colossus in the endless starry sky. If you are willing to join our mysterious Sky Palace, you will become the focus of our Milky Way star field's branch. This is something that our elders have discussed. There will definitely be no change. Moreover, we will also recommend you to the headquarters to receive the focus of the headquarters training. Yan Jingtian said and couldn't help but be a little excited. Once Morong Yu reached the true self realm, or even a higher realm, then their Milky Way star field's branch could also hold their heads high in front of other galaxies' branches. Moreover, finding such a peerless genius for the headquarters would also reward them greatly. Perhaps, They could be transferred back to the headquarters? The most important thing was that after Morongyu became strong in the future, he would also be a member of their Milky Way star field's branch. As the saying goes, when a man achieves the Tao, even his chickens and dogs will ascend to heaven. Due to various reasons, Yan Jingtian found Morongyu at the first moment. He wanted to try his best to pull Morongyu over. Morongyu rolled his eyes. I don't know anything. What if your mysterious sky palace is some evil organization? Then wouldn't I have joined a pirate ship? Yan Jingtian almost sent Morongyu flying with a slap. How was the mysterious sky palace an evil organization? And even boarded a pirate ship. If the mysterious sky palace's ship was really a pirate ship, then it was also a righteous pirate ship. The mysterious sky palace's power is spread throughout the endless starry sky, and there are a large number of true self-realm experts. There were many things about the mysterious sky palace that couldn't be told to Morongyu now. Therefore, Yan Jingtian could only emphasize this point again. Alright, I'll join the mysterious sky palace. However, I don't want my identity as a disciple of the mysterious sky palace to be leaked for the time being. Morongyu looked at the slightly excited Yan Jingtian with amusement and agreed to join the mysterious sky palace. Anyway, Morongyu wouldn't lose anything by joining the mysterious sky palace. If he didn't want to stay in the mysterious sky palace, then he could just leave the mysterious sky palace. The reason why he didn't want to reveal his identity as a disciple of the mysterious sky palace, once his identity was exposed, then many people would be apprehensive about his identity and wouldn't dare to do anything to him. This was very disadvantageous to Morongyu. A cultivator's growth couldn't be separated from battle. Otherwise, they would be like flowers in a greenhouse, unable to withstand destruction. All right. Yan Jingtian shouted and then grabbed Morongyu. Then, his figure flashed and disappeared from where he was. When he appeared again, Morongyu found that he had already arrived at a large hall. In the large hall, there were more than a dozen existences with huge auras. These people should be the elders of the mysterious sky palace. Great Elder, fortunately, I didn't disappoint you. Morongyu has agreed to join our mysterious sky palace. Yan Jingtian bowed to a benevolent-looking old man and couldn't help but say excitedly. Hearing this, a hint of surprise flashed across the eyes of the other people. Morongyu, this peerless genius, if properly trained, even if he left the Milky Way star field, he would definitely amaze the world. Good, good, good. The great elder of the mysterious sky palace said good 3 times in a row. Morongyu greets the great elder and all the elders. Morongyu bowed to everyone. Morongyu, no need to be greedy. Sit down. The great elder spoke. At the same time, he threw a purple token engraved with the words, Mysterious Sky, to Morongyu. Morongyu sat down on the chair next to him without any nervousness. At the same time, he looked at the purple token in his hand. Morongyu, you are the first official disciple in the history of our mysterious sky palace's Milky Way star field branch. The great elder spoke again. Morongyu's hand trembled and he almost threw away the token in his hand. The mysterious sky palace had existed for so many years, and he was the first official first? At this moment, Morongyu felt that he had been fooled. Kid, what nonsense are you thinking? There aren't many official disciples in the headquarters of the mysterious sky palace. If you want to become an official disciple, you have to go through various tests. Under normal circumstances, the disciples recruited by the branch can only be regarded as entry-level disciples. They have to pass the test of the headquarters to become an official disciple. Morongyu was puzzled. When he was about to ask why he could become an official disciple directly, Yan Jingtian continued to explain. However, every branch has an official disciple quota, and our Milky Way star field has only used this quota now. For countless years, only you are worthy of us using this quota. So that's how it is. Morongyu thought in his heart, it seems that my potential has suppressed them. This trip was not in vain. In fact, Morongyu had long known that the mysterious Sky Palace had nothing to do with the top 10 celestial realm experts in the Milky Way star field. Instead, it was a big force outside the Milky Way star field. Before coming here, Tianming even told Morongyu that, if there was a chance, he must join the mysterious Sky Palace. Previously, the reason why Morongyu was dawdling was because he wanted to get more benefit. However, what Morongyu didn't know was that even if he didn't dawdle, he would get the greatest benefit. Because he was the only official disciple of the mysterious Sky Palace branch in the Milky Way star field. In the Milky Way star field, you have a part of the power of our elders. You can directly kill the cultivators who are unfavorable to our mysterious Sky Palace. You can even kill those entry-level disciples first and report later, Yan Jingtian said in a deep voice. In addition to these, with the mysterious Sky Palace disciple token, everyone in the Milky Way star field had to give face. Otherwise, it would be opposing the mysterious Sky Palace. In other words, if Morongyu had his identity token, he could do whatever he wanted in the Milky Way star field. Even Skeleton Field didn't dare to touch him. A cold light flashed in Morongyu's eyes. When he heard about his authority, he couldn't help but think of that disciple surnamed Zhou. It was fine if that guy didn't come looking for trouble. Otherwise, Morongyu would definitely execute him. Next, the elders of the mysterious Sky Palace carefully told Morongyu some things about the mysterious Sky Palace that he was qualified to know at this stage. Then, they gave him a large number of heaven and earth treasures, even cultivation methods and inheritances. On this point, the elders of the mysterious Sky Palace were not stingy, and their actions also made Morongyu's favorable impression of them rise. He gradually treated them as disciples of the mysterious Sky Palace. Morongyu, soon, the various branches of the mysterious Sky Palace will hold an exchange meeting. I hope that during this period of time, you can improve your combat strength as much as possible. At that time, you can win glory for our Milky Way star field branch. In the end, Yan Jingtian and even the elders looked at Morongyu with expectant eyes. Chapter 21:12. There was a plaza in front of the Divine Mystery Palace, and a huge stone tablet stood in the plaza. 100 Talents List. These 3 majestic words were at the top of the stone tablet, clearly indicating the identity of this stone tablet. Apart from these 3 words, there were 100 names below. Obviously, these 100 people were the Milky Way Galaxy's 100 Talents list. They were also the 100 people with the most potential in the Milky Way Galaxy. On this day, many people had already gathered in front of the 100 Talents list, staring at it. It was already the second day after Morongyu's test, and it was time to announce the results. Although there were thousands of people taking the test every day, under normal circumstances, no one would look at the 100 Talents list. Unless it was someone who came to the Divine Mystery Mountain for the first time to take a look to satisfy their curiosity. After all, the names on the 100 Talents list, and even the rankings, usually did not change. However, ever since they saw Morongyu's battle prowess, many people believed that he could definitely make it to the 100 Talents list. Now, they wanted to see where Morongyu would make it to. It's changed, the 100 Talents list has changed. Suddenly, someone shouted loudly. Whoosh! Everyone's eyes shot to the 100 Talents list. Rongjirua? An unfamiliar name suddenly squeezed into the 100 Talents list, pushing down the last place on the list. Everyone stared at the name Rongjirua without blinking, because they all knew that Rongjirua's ranking was not the final ranking. Sure enough, after a while, the name Rongjirua flew up the 100 Talents list. 90th, 85th, 80th, it went straight up and finally stopped at 35th place. Rongjirua, 35th place on the 100 Talents list. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief, and some people who did not know Rongjirua's identity began to inquire about her. After all, anyone on the 100 Talents list was worth befriending, let alone 35th place Rongjirua. Moreover, she was a woman? Look, Morongyu has made it to the list. This person is only in the insight realm, but he has the battle prowess of a high-level Genesis realm. Not only is his battle prowess terrifying, but his potential is even more terrifying. Do you think he'll make it to the top 20? If he doesn't have any background, he'll definitely be in the top 30. However, if he had a powerful background, he should have no problem getting into the top 10. After all, the 100 Talents list did not only focus on battle prowess and potential. However, combat strength and potential are also very important aspects, someone said in a deep voice. Everyone nodded and no one said anything else. They just stared at the list of 100 talents. Just like Rong Jiruo, Morong Yu's name stopped at the 100th place, forcefully pushing down Yu Hufeng's original 100th place. At the same time, in a place extremely far away from the Heavenly Mystery Palace, Yu Hufeng let out an indignant roar. Which two goddamn bastards pushed me down from the rankings? Do you think it was easy for me to enter the 100 Talents list? Originally, he was ranked 99th on the 100 Talents list. However, when Rong Jiruo charged over, he automatically moved to the 100th position. Thus, when Morong Yu entered the 100 Talents list again, he automatically left the list. Every genius on the 100 Talents list would receive a 100 Talents token. The 100 Talents token was the status symbol of the cultivators on the 100 Talents list. At the same time, they could see their own ranking information. Once their ranking rose or fell, the 100 Talents token would be displayed. However, no other cultivators could be seen on the 100 Talents token. As a result, Yu Hufeng had no idea that the ones on the list were Morong Yu and Rong Jiruo. Of course, he was not the only one whose ranking had changed. Those ranked 35th and below had automatically dropped a place. Once Morong Yu reached the front, their rankings would drop again. However, because they were no longer in the last two places, no one dropped out of the 100 Talents list again. This won't do. I have to raise my ranking no matter what. It's easy to go from frugal to extravagant, but difficult to go from extravagant to frugal. Yu Hufeng was filled with grief and indignation. He immediately took off in the direction of the Heavenly Mystery Palace. At the same time, Morong Yu's ranking began to soar. 90, 80, 70. In the blink of an eye, Morong Yu had already reached the 20th place. And this was not the final result. Morong Yu's ranking was still advancing. 10th, 9th, 8th. At this moment, the geniuses who were originally in the top 10 were finally alarmed. Their rankings had actually dropped by one place. Who had made it into the top 10? As a result, numerous messages were sent to the Heavenly Mystery Palace from afar. The news of Morong Yu making it into the top 10 of the 100 Talents list also spread through the entire Milky Way star field at a frightening speed. Third place, Yang Yuanwu, who was originally third place, has been pushed to fourth place. A cultivator who had just rushed over exclaimed in disbelief near the 100 Talents list. However, the people near the 100 Talents list did not have much of a reaction. It was not that they were not shocked, but that they had already become numb to the shock of Morong Yu. Second place, Kong Jiaping has been stepped down. I wonder if Morong Yu will step over Luan Ruiming and become first place on the 100 Talents list? I heard that Morong Yu snatched Luan Ruiming's token during the Rong family's gathering of heroes. Morong Yu's name stopped at second place. Just when everyone thought that Morong Yu would ultimately only be second place on the 100 Talents list, his name suddenly jumped. First place on the 100 Talents list. What? Which bastard stepped on me? After seeing the 100 Talents tokens prompt, Luan Ruiming, who was cultivating, could not help but jump up. Among the younger generation of the Milky Way star field, who can compare to me? I am the strongest, and no one can surpass me. Luan Ruiming roared in disbelief. Could it be that something went wrong with the 100 Talents token? Luan Ruiming growled as he looked at the 100 Talents token. However, in the end, he still believed that there was nothing wrong with the 100 Talents list. I want to see who stepped on me. Luan Ruaming roared in his heart as he flew towards the heavenly mystery palace. In fact, he did not have to go there personally. Naturally, someone would send him detailed information about what had happened at the heavenly mystery palace. However, he wanted to see it for himself. In fact, it was not just him. The original top 10 of the 100 talents list and even more people rushed towards the heavenly mystery palace. What? Murong Yu and Rong Jirua made it into the 100 talents list? They squeezed me down? Murong Yu even made it to first place now? Along the way, Yu Huffeng was shocked when he received the news. Then, he laughed loudly. There was no jealousy or resentment on his face. There was only a sincere smile. However, Murong Yu even made it to first place. How can I not be on the list? I have to work hard to make it to the top 60. Yu Huffeng wanted to brag a little. However, when he thought of his battle prowess and background, he became discouraged again. In the end, he set his goal at the top 60. Which bastard squeezed me down from the list? Come out, I want to fight you one-on-one. A thunderous voice suddenly resounded in the vicinity of the 100 talents list. Everyone looked in the direction of the voice, only to see an enraged young man rushing over murderously. It was not Yu Huffeng, but the pitiful guy who was originally ranked 100th on the 100 talents list. Everyone fell silent. Then, they all looked at the first place of the 100 talents list. First place, Murong Yu. He's the one who squeezed me down? When he saw the completely unfamiliar name of Murong Yu, the young man was instantly stunned. In the end, he even turned around and ran away, his face red. Murong Yu had made it to first place not only because of his terrifying background, but also because of his extremely terrifying battle prowess and potential. Although he was considered a genius in the Milky Way star field. However, compared to the first place of the 100 talents list, he was nothing. Moreover, geniuses of that level would usually have a certain amount of supporters. However, he was making a big fuss here, declaring that he would defeat Murong Yu. Perhaps Murong Yu would not even have to show up. He would be killed by Murong Yu's supporters. Although he was ranked 100th on the 100 talents list, there were many people in the Milky Way star field who could kill him. After all, he was only a person of the younger generation with decent potential. In terms of true battle prowess, Yu Huffeng was ranked 99th on the 100 talents list when he was only at the 5th level of the Genesis realm. How strong could his battle prowess be? First, he won first place in the Rong family's meeting of heroes. Now, he suppressed all the other heroes on the 100 talents list and became one of the young people with the greatest potential in the Milky Way star field. Murong Yu's name spread throughout the entire Milky Way star field overnight. He was completely famous. There were many benefits to being famous, but there were also a lot of troubles. For example, Murong Yu's previous enemies also knew about his battle prowess. In this way, when they fought in the future, his opponents would know that he was invincible. This was also why Murong Yu did not use all his trump cards. He still had the power of faith and the power of shadow step. If those enemies dared to make a move, Murong Yu would definitely let them know what regret was. Moreover, now everyone only knew that he was Tianming's disciple, number 1 on the 100 talents list. They did not know that he was the only official disciple of the Tianji Palace in the Milky Way star field. If Murong Yu really wasn't a match for him, then once he revealed this sign, his enemies would be scared away. Of course, if Murong Yu wanted this effect, he did not need the Tianji Palace to keep it a secret. Once the Tianji Palace announced his identity, who in the Milky Way star field would dare to touch him? What he needed was battle. Battle. Breakthrough in battle and increase his strength in battle. For example, now, Murong Yu rejected the Tianji Palace's good intentions of sending an elder with peak Genesis realm battle prowess to protect him. Kid, since you don't need our protection, I don't want you to die either. You must know that you are the hope of our Tianji Palace's Milky Way star field branch. If you die, it's equivalent to killing the hope of all our elders. Yen Jingtian said earnestly as he patted Morong Yu's shoulder. Morong Yu's face darkened. He did not want Yen Jingtian's protection because he did not want to live under protection. In this way, once he encountered a battle, he would have some reliance and would not be able to use his full strength. It would not be beneficial to his improvement at all. However, this did not mean that he wanted to die. Thus, he did not even bother to say anything and pulled Rong Zhirua away. Chapter 21:13. Seeing Morong Yu and Rong Zhirua's figures disappear from sight, Yen Jingtian's figure flickered, and only then did he disappear. On the other side, Morong Yu brought Rong Zhirua and quickly left Heaven's Secrets Mountain, shooting off into the distance. Originally, he could have directly teleported away through Hichu Luoshu. However, he could sense that after he left Heaven's Secrets Mountain, someone was secretly watching him. Come out! After leaving Heaven's Secrets Mountain, Morong Yu stopped and turned around to look behind him. Little bastard, I didn't expect you to be so vigilant, actually being able to discover me. A figure slowly appeared from the darkness, looking at Morong Yu and Rong Zhirua with murderous intent. It's you! Rong Zhirua exclaimed, and her face immediately darkened. This person was none other than the disciple surnamed Zhou who had attacked them when they had just arrived at Heaven's Secrets Mountain. No, it should be the new disciple of Heaven's Secrets Palace. Even if this person had the strength of a level 9 Genesis Realm cultivator, he still did not have the qualifications to become an official disciple of Heaven's Secrets Palace's Milky Way Star Sector branch. Looking at him, Morong Yu did not look surprised at all. When he discovered that someone was following them, he had already guessed who that person was. The appearance of the disciple surnamed Zhou only confirmed Morong Yu's guess. Why are you chasing after us? Rong Zhirua asked furiously. She was still a little naive. She really could not understand. The disciple surnamed Zhou wanted to kill them back then, and now he wanted to kill them all. One had to know that they had no interactions with the disciple surnamed Zhou at all, let alone any enmity. Furthermore, he had attacked first back then. Why do I want to kill you? The disciple surnamed Zhou laughed savagely, looking extremely terrifying. You really want to know the reason? Then I'll tell you. Because of you two little bastards, I've been expelled from Heaven's Secrets Palace, and I'll never be able to set foot in Heaven's Secrets Galaxy again. When he said this, the disciple surnamed Zhou's expression became even more savage and terrifying. Serves you right. Who told you to want to kill us back then? Rong Zhirua sneered, and could not help but feel rather pleased. Meanwhile, Morong Yu felt rather stifled. Yen Jingtian and the others didn't tell him about this. However, Morong Yu approved of disciple Zhou's punishment. After all, this fellow had wanted to kill Morong Yu without asking for any reason. It would be inappropriate for him to continue staying in the Heavenly Mystery Palace. However, Yen Jingtian and the others obviously did not expect that when they expelled the disciple surnamed Zhou, they would cause the disciple surnamed Zhou to transfer all his resentment and anger to Morong Yu. That was why this guy had been chasing after him. Morong Yu sneered in his heart. If it was him, he wouldn't have chased that disciple surnamed Zhou out of the Tianji Palace. He would have just killed him. If he had killed the disciple surnamed Zhou, he would not have been hunted down like this. You can go on your way in peace, said the disciple surnamed Zhou with an evil grin. He took a step forward and rushed towards Morong Yu and the other man. Halfway there, he reached out with his hand. The hand that contained a terrifying aura of destruction enveloped Morong Yu and the other man, slamming down viciously. Rong Zhirua's expression changed drastically. Just as she was about to use the life-saving trump card that the heavens had given her, she was pulled behind Morong Yu. I'll deal with this person. You back off a little, instructed Morong Yu. With a flash, he had already crashed into the disciple surnamed Zhou. You overestimate yourself. Seeing that Morong Yu did not run away immediately but came to meet him, the disciple surnamed Zhou could not help but reveal a look of disdain. However, as if he suddenly recalled the scene on the heavenly mystery mountain, the disciple surnamed Zhou's expression immediately darkened. At the same time, he increased the strength of his hand. In a flash, the two of them were about to collide. At this moment, swoosh! The Chaos Blade appeared in Murong Yu's hand out of thin air. Then, he slashed at the incoming disciple surnamed Zhou with his saber. The power of chaos erupted from the Chaos Blade, instantly engulfing the heavens and the earth. For a moment, the entire world was thrown into chaos. This included the power that the disciple surnamed Zhou had unleashed and the power within his body. Rumble! The power of chaos caused the power from the disciple surnamed Zhou's hand to collide and clash with each other in the air. The power that had originally been aimed at Murong Yu was now divided into many parts, attacking each other. The disciple surnamed Zhou was shocked. Just as he was about to control his power, he discovered that the power within his body was also like a violent storm, violently clashing with each other. Due to the clashing power, many of the disciple surnamed Zhou's meridians were shattered in the blink of an eye. Caught off guard, he spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. The disciple surnamed Zhou was both shocked and furious. He began to frantically suppress the power within his body. Under his suppression, the chaotic power within his body began to recover. However, at this moment, the power that had begun to recover was suddenly frozen. Even his physical body was frozen in place. As it turned out, Murong Yu had already activated the power of the shadow trampling. He stepped on the disciple surnamed Zhou's shadow, immobilizing him. Spurt! The blade of chaos erupted with a terrifying flow that could destroy the world. It directly landed on the disciple surnamed Zhou. With a thud, the disciple surnamed Zhou was directly cleaved in half. However, it was impossible for him to kill the disciple surnamed Zhou like this. The disciple surnamed Zhou understood this very well. Once he recovered control over his power and body, it would be the time of Murong Yu's death. However, he suddenly discovered a mocking smile that flashed across Murong Yu's face. Why was he mocking him? A sliver of confusion flashed through the disciple surnamed Zhou's mind. However, at this moment, his soul suddenly experienced intense pain. His entire soul felt like it had been ripped to shreds. A soul attack. The disciple surnamed Zhou only managed to utter these 3 words in his mind one last time before his vision darkened, and he lost consciousness. A 9th-level world creation realm cultivator had died just like that. Everything happened in the blink of an eye. It was so fast that aside from Murong Yu, who was directly involved, even Rong Jiruo, who had been watching Murong Yu fight the entire time, did not know what had happened. Only after Murong Yu had plundered the disciple surnamed Zhou's spatial treasure did Rong Jiruo react. Big brother Murong Yu killed him? He's a 9th-level world creation realm cultivator. Rong Jiruo was still extremely shocked. Murong Yu's battle prowess was really a little too terrifying. Didn't you see it all? Murong Yu said with a relaxed expression. You're actually so powerful that you can even insta-kill a 9th-level world creation realm cultivator. In the Milky Way star field, aside from those heaven-tier powerhouses, who else can be your match? Rong Jiruo said excitedly. She seemed to be even happier than Murong Yu himself. However, Murong Yu shook his head. The strongest cultivator below the heaven tier? It was still too early to say that now. If he could advance to the 6th level of the Insight Realm, and his battle prowess to the 9th level of the World Creation Realm, perhaps he could become the strongest cultivator below the Heaven tier. But now, he could kill the disciple surnamed Zhou completely because the other party did not know him well enough. It could even be said that Murong Yu's lightning-fast attack was equivalent to a sneak attack. If he could not kill the disciple surnamed Zhou in one strike, he would not be able to kill the disciple surnamed Zhou after using up all 3 strikes. He could only choose to flee. After all, the difference in their battle prowess was there for all to see. Let's go back first. After cleaning up the battlefield, Murong Yu brought Rong Jiruo and quickly left. Now, Murong Yu could no longer sense that someone was following them. Thus, he directly teleported back through Hichu Luoshu. At the same time that Murong Yu killed the disciple surnamed Zhou, in the Elder's Hall of the Heavenly Mystery Palace, Zhou Hai's soul jade slip shattered. He must have been killed by Murong Yu. Yan Jingtian sighed, looking at the Grand Elder with a rather complicated expression. The other elders were more or less the same, all looking at the Grand Elder. Grand Elder, how do you know that Zhou Hai is not Murong Yu's match? Yan Jingtian looked at the Grand Elder and asked rather doubtfully. Grand Elder only drove Zhou Hai out of the Heavenly Mystery Palace, but did not kill him. It must be because of this matter, right? However, how can you be sure that Murong Yu has the strength to kill Zhou Hai or escape? The many elders were all puzzled. In the beginning, they advocated for Zhou Hai to be killed. After all, this person was narrow-minded and was a threat to Murong Yu. And they definitely would not let anything happen to Murong Yu, the only official disciple. Therefore, when the Grand Elder decided to only drive Zhou Hai out, Yan Jingtian and the others had considerable objections. However, the Grand Elder stubbornly insisted. However, Yan Jingtian and the others were paying attention to Murong Yu at all times. Once they found that Murong Yu was in danger, they would immediately rescue him. Zhou Hai is not Murong Yu's match. I told you this from the beginning, the Grand Elder said slowly. However, how can you tell? Yan Jingtian was still puzzled. Murong Yu is the most promising young cultivator we have ever seen. He is not as simple as you think. His potential is limitless, and he has many trump cards. Not only do I believe that he can kill Zhou Hai, but I also believe that he will make our Milky Way star field branch soar to the sky, the Grand Elder said with a firm tone. Yan Jingtian and the others were silent. They could not understand why the Grand Elder was so confident. However, the Grand Elder had his own way of looking at people. He had never been wrong. Yan Jingtian and the others also believed the Grand Elder's words. However, they still had doubts in their hearts. However, since the Grand Elder did not want to say, they could not continue to ask. Was this the case? They would naturally see in the future. On the other side, through teleportation, Murong Yu not only avoided trouble, but also returned directly to the Rong family. After returning to the family, Rong Zhirua immediately went to report the good news. As for Murong Yu, he found Tianming's clone. At this time, it was not long before they entered the secret realm. Chapter 21:14. Murong Yu, congratulations on becoming number 1 on the 100 talents list. Murong Yu had just entered the main hall when Tianming's voice rang in his ears. It turned out that before Murong Yu returned to the Rong family, the news of him becoming number 1 on the 100 talents list had already spread throughout the Rong family. Because Murong Yu was a Tianming disciple, everyone in the Rong family was happy for Murong Yu. Especially Tianming. Murong Yu becoming number 1 on the 100 talents list was also a huge benefit to him. The higher Murong Yu's status was, the greater his achievements, and the more he would bask in the limelight. Therefore, he was quite happy. Murong Yu took a look and realized that this Tianming was different from the one he had seen before. Today's Tianming should be his original body. Tianming's original body was even stronger. Murong Yu just smiled. Becoming number 1 on the 100 talents list didn't make him feel happy or anything. This was just one of the things on his path to becoming the Chaos Controller. Murong Yu didn't tell Tianming about becoming the only official disciple of the Occult Mystery Palace. After all, the Occult Mystery Palace was very mysterious. Even though Tianming was one of the 11 strongest people in the Milky Way star field, he didn't seem to have the right to know too much about the Occult Mystery Palace. The Whirlpool Galaxy was a death galaxy in the Milky Way star field. There were many planets and even origin planets here, but not many cultivators came and went. The main thing was that this place was billions of times more dangerous than the Crimson Thunder Galaxy. Crimson Death Lightning would appear in the Crimson Thunder Galaxy, but the cultivators there could use all kinds of formations to defend against it. Therefore, it wasn't very dangerous for cultivators. But in the Whirlpool Galaxy, the entire galaxy was filled with large and small whirlpools. Small whirlpools were almost invisible. Large whirlpools were even bigger than Origin Planet. Once a cultivator was sucked into a whirlpool, even a celestial realm expert would die. Moreover, some of these whirlpools were always there. Because these whirlpools could be seen, they could be avoided. But some whirlpools were like Crimson Death Lightning, and no one knew when they would appear. Therefore, it was impossible to guard against them. As long as it was space, there could be whirlpools. Even formations and restrictions were unable to defend against these whirlpools. Therefore, this Whirlpool Galaxy was known as the Death Galaxy. No cultivator would come here to seek death. However, due to the small number of cultivators, there were not many natural treasures inside. After all, the vortex was not only a threat to cultivators. Large amounts of heavenly materials and earthly treasures would be destroyed by the vortex. Standing outside the Maelstrom Galaxy, Murong Yu's expression gradually turned grave as he looked at the large and small maelstrom in the distance. He could faintly sense an incomparably strong aura of danger. The secret realm that the 10 Celestial Realm Warriors were going to enter was in the Whirlpool Galaxy. That secret realm would only open after a certain period of time. Therefore, even the top 10 Celestial Realm elites could only come together at the same time. Murong Yu and Tianming were the first to arrive. A day later, the first Heaven Tier elite finally arrived. Tianshan. Sky Mountain was one of the top 10 Celestial Realm experts in the Milky Way star zone. The person who came with him was Dong Huacan. However, although Dong Huacan did not know that Murong Yu had stolen his ferocious beast was more valuable than his ferocious beast. But no matter what, it was still much stronger than his token, causing him to not have any ranking in the Rong family's meeting of heroes. Therefore, Dong Huacan did not have a good impression of Murong Yu. As for Tianshan, he only glanced at Murong Yu indifferently, exchanged a few pleasantries with Tianming, and then sat down cross-legged not far away. Tianming did not go over to talk to him. The top 10 Celestial Realm elites dominated the Milky Way star zone, but they were competitors with each other. Therefore, it was impossible to expect them to be on good terms. It was already good enough that they did not fight when they met. The third Celestial Realm elite to arrive was Zhenlong. The one who came with Zhenlong was Murong Jingxian, who used to be 8th on the 100 Talents list and was now 9th on the list. On the way here, Murong Yu noticed that the top 10 of the 100 Talents list belonged to one of the Celestial Realm elite. It was because of their background that they were able to sit firmly in the top 10 of the 100 Talents list. However, the top 10 of the 100 Talents list did not belong to Tianming's camp. Therefore, Tianming was always alone when he entered the Arcane Realm. One by one, the Celestial Realm elites brought geniuses over. In less than half a day, all 10 Celestial Realm elites were gathered together. Hu Yenyu, who used to be 10th on the 100 Talents list, was no longer qualified to come. Murong Yu finally had the chance to meet the dominators of the Milky Way star zone. Obviously, these people were very curious about Murong Yu. They were so curious that they even wanted to kill him. Murong Yu could clearly feel the strong murderous intent coming from some of the Celestial Realm elite. Perhaps it was because he was too heaven-defying, threatening the status of these people. If given the chance, Murong Yu believed that they would definitely kill him in the cradle of his growth. After all, the Milky Way star zone was only so big. If Murong Yu broke through to the Celestial Realm, then he would fight with them for the cake. At that time, their interests would be reduced. This was something that no one wanted to see. However, although these Celestial Realm elites who had been famous for a long time wanted to kill Murong Yu, they did not show it. Every single one of them merely glanced at Murong Yu indifferently. However, the younger generation was not like that. Especially Luan Ruiming, who used to be first on the 100 talents list and was now second on the list. Murong Yu, I don't know what tricks you used to get to first on the 100 talents list. But I, Luan Ruiming, am not convinced. Now I challenge you. As long as you defeat me, I will admit that you are first on the 100 talents list. Luan Ruiming walked over and said to Murong Yu through gritted teeth. Hearing this, Kuqingwan could not help but laugh. Murong Yu, on the other hand, had a mocking look on his face. Who do you think you are? Now all the cultivators in the Milky Way star zone know that I am first on the 100 talents list. Even the Tianji Palace has admitted it. So what if you don't? You think you are stronger than the Tianji Palace? Must you admit that I am first on the 100 talents list? What a joke. Luan Ruiming's face turned green and white. His eyes flashed with a terrifying killing intent, and he was furious. He wanted to slap Murong Yu to death. The younger generation nowadays is really arrogant and conceited. The Celestial Realm elite, Qing Xia, shook her head and said lightly. She was the only female cultivator among the top 10 Celestial Realm elites, and she was Kuqingwan's master. Originally, because of the rumors about Murong Yu and Kuqingwan in the outside world, Qing Xia was very angry after finding out. However, as Murong Yu rose step by step, the anger in Qing Xia's heart had long disappeared. What replaced it was a kind of admiration. Admiration for Murong Yu. As a woman, no matter how strong she was, she still needed to find a man to rely on. Qing Xia was previously filled with anger and dissatisfaction. That was because she felt that Murong Yu was not worthy of Kuqingwan. But now, Murong Yu had endless potential. He could be said to be well matched with Kuqingwan. Hence, she gradually agreed that Murong Yu was Kuqingwan's man, even if Kuqingwan denied it many times. Now, Qing Xia looked at Murong Yu like a mother-in-law looking at her son-in-law. The more she looked, the more satisfied she was. Hence, she opened her mouth to support Murong Yu. Qing Xia was a Celestial Realm elite at any rate. The moment she spoke, even if Luan Ruiming was furious, he did not dare to say anything. If he offended Qing Xia could crush him to death with one finger. Humph! There are many insolent juniors. These juniors do not take us seniors seriously. A cold snort came over. Looking over, Murong Yu discovered that the one who spoke was the Celestial Realm elite, Sky He. Sky He was Luan Ruiming's master. He was naturally unwilling to see his disciple being bullied. While talking, Sky He looked at Murong Yu with a cold glint in his eyes. A terrifying killing intent swept over like a stormy sea, wanting to tear Murong Yu apart. This guy actually attacked directly. Tianming snorted coldly. Instantly, the surging killing intent disappeared into thin air. Tianming's gaze slowly swept over the many Celestial Realm elites, and finally fixed on Sky He's face. You're already so old, and you still have the nerve to attack the younger generation? If there's a next time, don't blame me for not being polite. As he spoke, a terrifying aura flashed across Tianming's body. What a powerful aura! Could it be that he's about to break through the last barrier? Many Celestial Realm elites were shocked, and a hint of fear flashed across their eyes. Even if everyone was a Celestial Realm cultivator, there was still a difference in strength in the same realm. Moreover, Tianming had always been the strongest among the 10. Now, Tianming had already touched the barrier of Celestial Realm's second stage, and was even stronger than them. If they were to clash now, they were definitely not Tianming's match. Humph! Sky He snorted coldly in annoyance. Although he stood up for Luan Ruiming, he would not continue if it would endanger him. Of course, that was under the current circumstances where a conflict could break out. Seeing that even his master was silent, Luan Ruiming dared not say anything more. He only glared at Murong Yu with resentment, and then slowly walked back with a look of reluctance. It's time. Let's go in, the Celestial Realm elite, Sky Hu said in a low voice. Before he finished speaking, He was about to rush into the swirl galaxy with Fan Yubing. Haha, how could I not be here when it's so lively? At that moment, a loud laugh came from afar. Everyone looked in the direction of the sound, and saw two figures shooting over from afar. Murong Yu's face darkened. He saw that one of the people shooting over from afar was the leader of the Skeleton Bandits, the newly promoted Celestial Realm Elite, Skeleton. Apart from him, he also brought another person with him. It was the original 10th on the 100 Talents list, and also one of the top 10 beauties, Hu Yenyu. Chapter 21:15. Skeleton. Tianming and the rest could not help but frown. Apart from the original 10 Celestial Realm powerhouses, no one else was qualified to enter the Secret Realm. Even if Skeleton had become a Celestial Realm powerhouse, he was not qualified. Tianming and the rest did not even inform Skeleton. After all, the more people there were, the less benefits they would get. Apart from them, no one else knew about the secret realm that they were about to enter. So, how did Skeleton find out? Whoosh! Everyone's eyes instantly focused on Hu Yenyu, who had followed Skeleton here. Hu Yenyu had entered the secret realm before, so she naturally knew where the secret realm was and when it started. Forget about her peers, Tianming and the rest were all Celestial Realm powerhouses. Every one of them could kill Hu Yenyu in an instant. Therefore, when she saw Tianming and the rest's eyes focused on her, Hu Yenyu's face was filled with anxiety. Even Tianhe and the rest had a chilling murderous look in their eyes. The reason why they were the only ones who knew about the secret realm was because the news had not been leaked. Not only did Hu Yenyu leak the news, but she also brought Skeleton here. She deserved to die. Sensing Tianhe's murderous look, Hu Yenyu was so nervous that her face turned pale. Haha, why do you have to make things difficult for a little girl? Skeleton laughed out loud and pulled Hu Yenyu behind him. Although Skeleton was a newly promoted Celestial Realm powerhouse, he was still a Celestial Realm powerhouse. With his protection, Tianhe and the rest's aura could not directly hit Hu Yenyu. Hu Yenyu could finally breathe a sigh of relief. Hu Yenyu, why did you betray us? Fan Yubing said unhappily. Hearing that, Hu Yenyu's eyes suddenly flashed with resentment as she looked at Murong Yu. This made Murong Yu speechless. He did not have much interaction with Hu Yenyu. Could it be that he was shot again? She wanted to step into the Celestial Realm, and this secret realm was naturally the opportunity to break through. However, someone cut off her hopes of breaking through. Skeleton looked at Murong Yu and said calmly. Murong Yu suddenly understood. So that was the reason? Then, was this also the reason why Hu Yenyu hooked up with Skeleton? This woman was really not ordinary. Murong Yu, we meet again. The skeleton suddenly grinned at Murong Yu. I don't want to see you. Murong Yu sneered in his heart. Although the skeleton was looking at him with a face full of smiles, Murong Yu could feel a trace of sharp and obscure killing intent shooting towards him. It was obvious that the skeleton had developed killing intent towards him. Skeleton, you are not welcome here. Leave now. Sky Crane said impatiently. Tianhe, you don't have the final say here. That mystic realm doesn't belong to you. I can come and go as I please. What can you do to me? The skeleton said fearlessly. Although he was a newly ascended Celestial Realm powerhouse, it was basically impossible for Sky Crane to kill him. And there might be treasures in the mystic realm that could rapidly raise his cultivation level. How could he give up this opportunity? You're courting death. Sky Crane flew into a rage. In the Milky Way star field, who dared to speak to him like this? Looking at the approaching Sky Crane, Skeleton stood still and was not afraid at all. Sky Crane, why don't you give it a try? Unless you can kill me in seconds. Otherwise, you will regret it. As long as I don't die, all the cultivators in the Sky Crane galaxy must die. Sky Crane paused, and the killing intent in his eyes soared. He did not doubt the skeleton's words. The skeleton was the leader of the Skeleton Bandit. Burning, killing, and looting were normal. If he was really forced, he might slaughter all the cultivators in the Sky Crane Galaxy. Others were fine, but Sky Crane's foundation was in the Sky Crane Galaxy. Once they were slaughtered, he would become a commander without an army. And if the skeleton wanted to slaughter the entire Sky Crane Galaxy, Sky Crane would not be able to stop it. Even if there was another Heavenly Fate Realm powerhouse, they would not be able to stop it, unless the 10 of them worked together. But the 10 of them could not stay together all the time. As long as they were careless, the skeleton would slaughter them. Therefore, Sky Crane was quite apprehensive. How about it? You don't have any objections, right? The skeleton looked at Tianming and the others with an evil smile, looking very arrogant. Tianming and the others frowned slightly. Although the 10 of them had different ways of doing things, they were definitely not shameless. They would never use someone's foundation to threaten the other party. Because if he could do the same, the other party could do the same. But the skeleton was different. When they were fighting for the Sky Realm inheritance, he had almost given up on the skeleton bandits. Skeleton, don't be too presumptuous. If the 10 of us work together, you will definitely die. Sky Tiger said unhappily. The skeleton looked at Sky Tiger with disdain. Why don't you try? In the end, you can kill me. Otherwise, your foundation will be uprooted by me. I mean what I say. Sky Tiger instantly fell silent. No one knew if the skeleton had a life-saving trump card. If they could not kill him. All right, since you want to come in, then come in together. Tianming, who had been silent all this time, finally spoke. In fact, among the 10 Sky Realm experts, only Tianming was carefree. Apart from the Rong family, Tianming did not have any other forces, so he had no restraints. And the Rong family was not a place where the skeleton could enter as he wished. Among the 10 of them, only Tianming was not afraid of the skeleton's threat. However, Tianhe and the others were puzzled when they heard what he said. The rest of the people looked at each other, and finally agreed to let Skeleton in with them. Let's go, what are we waiting for? If we wait any longer, the secret realm will close. The skeleton took the initiative and flew in with Hu Yenyu. Tianming and the others also flew up and quickly rushed into the Whirlpool Galaxy. After many explorations, Tianming and the others found a relatively safe passage to the secret realm. This starry passage passed through the gaps between the various whirlpools. Murong Yu followed behind Tianming and even brought out the Shadow Step Palace. Although Tianming promised to protect him, but it was not that Murong Yu did not trust Tianming. But what if Tianming made a mistake? It was better to rely on himself. Looking at the whirlpools of various sizes and feeling the inexplicable suction force from them, Murong Yu suddenly felt his heart palpitate. The whirlpools spun slowly, and there was almost no danger. But Murong Yu's heart was constantly shrouded by a strong sense of danger. Whoosh! As if sensing Murong Yu's doubts, Tianming casually threw a Peak Genesis Realm Origin treasure into a whirlpool about the size of a person. Bang! That Origin tool had not even entered the whirlpool for an instant before it suddenly exploded into pieces. And then there was no more. Nothing was left behind. Murong Yu did not even see any abnormalities in the whirlpool before the Peak Genesis Realm Origin treasure was destroyed. On the surface, these whirlpools seemed to be moving very slowly or even motionless. But in reality, these whirlpools are moving and spinning extremely fast. So fast that our physical bodies cannot see them. Fast to the extreme is slow. Try to use your divine sense to touch them. But remember to be careful, don't let your entire divine sense be swallowed. Tianming's voice sounded in Murong Yu's ears. Fast to the extreme but slow? Fast to the extreme but motionless? Murong Yu was somewhat puzzled, and a trace of his divine sense extended into a whirlpool the size of a pinky finger. Whoosh! Just as his divine sense entered the whirlpool, Murong Yu felt an extremely terrifying suction force suddenly acting on his body, rapidly pulling his body over. Murong Yu was shocked and hurriedly cut off that divine sense. At this time, his figure finally stabilized. On the other hand, Morong Yu's strange expression was clearly seen by the others. Forget about the Heaven-tier powerhouses, a hint of mockery flashed across the faces of Luan Ruiming and the others. They did not think that when they first entered here, which one of them was not in a worse state than Morong Yu? Some of them were even almost swallowed by the whirlpool. Morong Yu did not pay attention to these people, and he did not have the time to do so. Fast. Extremely fast. Although his divine sense had only been in contact with the whirlpool for less than 1/100th of a second, he could clearly feel how fast the whirlpool was inside. How fast was it? It was so fast that he could not see it spinning and moving. It was like a person waving an arm. If the arm was waving slowly, the trajectory of the arm could be seen. But if the arm was waving very fast, then it was basically impossible to see the arm. Instead, one would see the arm forming a long and huge arm. In fact, it was like an afterimage. The bigger the whirlpool, the more terrifying the speed of rotation. I'm afraid that even true self-realm powerhouses would not dare to enter those enormous whirlpools. Tianming's somewhat heavy voice sounded in Morong Yu's ears. Morong Yu nodded, his face full of solemnity. A pinky finger-sized whirlpool was already terrifying enough. If he was swallowed, there was no way he could survive. But how were these terrifying whirlpools formed? Why didn't they spread to other galaxies? In fact, in the beginning, the Whirlpool Galaxy was not this big at all. After countless years, the Whirlpool Galaxy is now thousands or even tens of thousands of times bigger than before. If this continues, one day the entire Milky Way star field will be swallowed by the Whirlpool Galaxy. Tianming said bitterly. Morong Yu's expression became more and more solemn. However, with the speed of the Whirlpool Galaxy's growth, it should not be very fast. And Morong Yu did not believe that as long as he reached the Chaos Controller realm, he could not stop these whirlpools from growing. Although the whirlpool was terrifying, it was not impossible to resist. It just required an extremely high level of cultivation. If I attack the whirlpool here, will you and I perish together? At this moment, the skeleton's voice sounded. Tianming and the others were scared out of their wits. Chapter 21:16. Whoosh. Immediately, Tianming and the other veteran Celestial Realm powerhouses locked onto Skeleton with their divine senses. At the same time, an extremely powerful aura emanated from their bodies and soared into the sky. At this moment, they all raised their power to the extreme. If Skeleton really dared to attack the vortex, they would definitely attack and kill him quickly. The vortex was not unbreakable. On the contrary, sometimes, even if it was slightly shaken by an external force, the vortex would explode. Once the whirlpool exploded, the extremely fast power inside would spread out in all directions. Who could resist such a terrifying power? If it was a small vortex, it would not be a problem. Tianming and the others still had the confidence to escape. However, if it was a large vortex, Tianming and the others would definitely not be able to escape. Haha, seeing the nervous look on everyone's face, Skeleton's expression did not change as he laughed out loud. Don't worry, I'm just joking. I haven't lived long enough. Skeleton laughed, but his eyes were shining. Morong Yu suddenly felt that Skeleton might not be joking. If he had the confidence to destroy the vortex, or if he had the confidence to save his life, he would definitely destroy the vortex and kill Tianming and the others. The death of Tianming and the others would be of great benefit to Skeleton. The biggest benefit was that Skeleton was the only celestial realm powerhouse in the Milky Way star field. He was the absolute ruler. He could have whatever he wanted, and no one could stop him from doing anything he wanted. Without Tianming and the others, he would be the only one to enjoy the secret realm they were about to enter. Of course, all the secret realms in the Milky Way star field would become his secret garden. Morong Yu even believed that other than Skeleton, all the other celestial realm powerhouses had the same idea. It was just that they could not find the opportunity to kill the others in one fell swoop. Skeleton, there are some jokes you can't take. Tian-He's voice was cold as he looked at Skeleton with murderous intent. If there was a chance, he would definitely kill Skeleton. Skeleton's face turned cold. Am I the one who can't take it, or are you the one who can't take it? Tian-He, I've been annoyed with you for a long time. Don't think that you can take advantage of your seniority just because you broke through a long time ago. Do you believe that I can kill you anytime I want? The skeleton stopped and turned around to look at Sky Crane with a murderous look. It looked like it was about to attack. Murong Yu and the others stopped. This was something that couldn't be helped. This was because only one person could pass through this passage. On both sides of the passageway, there were large and small whirlpools, and the skeleton happened to be stuck in the only way out. If they wanted to move forward, they could only wait for the skeleton to move forward on its own or kill it. Walk from the side? That's fine, but it's too dangerous. Sky, he had a fiery temper to begin with. Seeing Skeleton, a junior who had just ascended to the heaven tier, actually daring to be so rude, he was immediately enraged. A terrifying killing intent erupted from his body as he stepped forward. Enough, you two! Qing Xia shouted coldly. If they were anywhere else and the two of them wanted to fight, none of them would stop them. However, their lives were at stake here. Tianming, Tianhu, and the others looked at them with gloomy faces. After we get out of the Whirlpool Galaxy, I'd like to see if you have the strength to take advantage of your seniority. The skeleton snorted coldly and turned to leave. All right, I'll wait. Sky, he snorted angrily. In the following time, the skeleton did not cause any more trouble. Everyone walked into the depths of the Whirlpool Galaxy safely. Buzz. Suddenly, the three spirit spheres in Murong Yu's spirit space trembled violently. At the same time, his primordial spirit in the Hichu Luoshu also trembled violently. Murong Yu's face changed instantly. This situation had happened many times before. After verification, it was a sign of imminent danger. However, this was the first time that Murong Yu experienced a situation where his primordial spirit and the spirit spheres trembled together. In other words, the danger this time would be unprecedentedly terrifying. The aura of death shrouded Murong Yu's heart. What danger? They were now in the depths of the Whirlpool Galaxy. The danger must be coming from these whirlpools. However, despite sensing the danger, Murong Yu remained calm and collected as he observed the crowd. He noticed that everyone else's expressions were normal. They still looked cautious, but they didn't show any abnormalities. Except for Tianming. A trace of worry flashed in the depths of Tianming's eyes. Murong Yu happened to notice it. Tianming was good at divination. He probably also sensed the impending danger, right? Murong Yu thought in his heart and immediately approached Tianming. Did you notice anything unusual? Just as Murong Yu was about to ask, Tianming's somewhat heavy voice sounded in Murong Yu's ears first. In fact, Tianming had been paying attention to Murong Yu all along. He had already noticed when Murong Yu's expression changed. Murong Yu nodded and said, "The danger is rapidly approaching. I feel that with every step we take, we are one step closer to the danger." In fact, with every step Murong Yu took, the dangerous aura Murong Yu felt grew several times stronger. I also feel the impending danger, but it's very weak. It's almost negligible. Tianming sighed. He did not know why Murong Yu could sense the impending danger earlier than him. In fact, this was the credit of the 9 syllables mantra. The all syllables of the 9 syllables mantra could not only divine, but also sense the impending danger in advance. And as Murong Yu grew stronger, this ability would become stronger as well. I don't think we can continue. Murong Yu pondered for a moment. The Whirlpool Galaxy was full of danger. It was really dangerous at every step. Tianming pondered for a moment and finally nodded. Although the secret realm had endless treasures that could help Tianming advance to the second level of the celestial realm. But that was on the premise that he had a life. If he lost his life, it would be useless no matter how many treasures he had. Something came up, so I won't continue. I'll take my leave first, Tianming suddenly said, then took Morong Yu and turned to leave. Everyone was puzzled by Tianming's sudden departure. The secret realm had finally opened, but Tianming gave up? There must be something wrong. Everyone was puzzled and stopped in their tracks. Tianming is good at divination. Could it be that he predicted some danger? Dark Wind, the celestial realm powerhouse, said hesitantly. I think so. Dark Wind, you should leave as well. Heavenly Tiger chuckled. He could not wait for everyone to leave and be the only one left. Then he could go to the secret realm to search for treasures without worry. Maybe Tianming found a shortcut to the secret realm? Tianhe frowned. A bunch of idiots. Skeleton glanced at Tianhe and the others in disdain, but he did not stop and continued to fly forward. First come, first serve. He did not care what Tianming was up to. Seeing Skeleton continue to move forward, Tianhe and the others finally let go of their doubts and continued forward. Not long after, Master, what's that in front? Kuchinwan suddenly pointed forward and exclaimed. There were whirlpools of different sizes in the Whirlpool Galaxy. Of course, other than the whirlpools there were planets and even origin stars. Other than the extra whirlpool, this place was no different from other galaxies. However, at that moment, Kuchinwan and the others could see that the sea and sky were the same color. They could no longer see the planets, origin stars, and whirlpools. Some of the knowledge was connected together like a black torrent, just like a sandstorm. Everyone stopped and looked in front of them with astonishment. It was the first time Qingxia and the others had seen such a situation. The sandstorm in front of them was moving at an extremely fast speed, and it was getting bigger and bigger, covering the entire sky. In just an instant it had closed the distance between them and the others. At the same time, a strong and dangerous aura spread from the front, shrouding everyone's hearts. Kuchinwan, Luan Ruiming, and the others turned pale instantly. Their bodies could not help but tremble violently. The terrifying and dangerous aura suppressed their souls to the point that they were about to explode. They were not the only ones. Even Skeleton, Sky Crane, and the others who were in the celestial realm turned pale instantly. That's a whirlpool storm. King Ren, who had been silent all this while, could not help but exclaim. At the same time, he grabbed Jing Shui, who was ranked 8th on the 100 talents list, and retreated immediately. A whirlpool storm. Everyone's expression changed instantly, and they all retreated quickly. What was a whirlpool storm? As the name suggested, a whirlpool storm was a storm or torrent formed by countless whirlpools. In the Whirlpool Galaxy, most of the whirlpools had a fixed position. Of course, there were some whirlpools that appeared randomly, like the Red Death Lightning, but disappeared quickly. However, these whirlpools did not move. However, a whirlpool storm could move. Moreover, the more whirlpools formed a storm, the faster the whirlpool storm would move. Wherever it passed, it would be torn into pieces by the whirlpool storm. At this time, not to mention celestial realm experts, even true self-realm experts or experts of a higher realm would stay away from it, not daring to come into contact with it. Otherwise, there would only be one outcome, being torn into pieces by the whirlpool storm, dying an unjust death. Tianming, that old bastard. Since he had already deduced the whirlpool storm, how could he not tell us? Sky Crane was furious as he retreated, and he cursed at Tianming. Poor Tianming. The reason he retreated was not because of himself, but because of Morong Yu. Moreover, even Morong Yu did not know about the Whirlpool Galaxy. He only felt that a terrible danger was about to befall him. Chapter 21:17. Master, the vortexes are getting closer and closer. I'm afraid we won't be able to escape. Kuchinwan was being held in Qingxia's hand as they quickly flew through the spiral galaxy. However, while Qingxiao was fast, the vortexes were even faster. In the blink of an eye, the vortexes were almost upon them. It wasn't just Kuqinwan, but Skeleton, Sky Crane, and the others as well. The vortexes were hundreds of times faster than they were, or even faster. If this continued, they would be sucked into the vortexes. Once they were sucked into the vortexes, they would die without a doubt. This wasn't Murong Yu's concern. After all, he didn't have much of a relationship with the others. Even Kuqinwan had nothing to do with him. On the contrary, they were enemies. It's over. There's another vortex up ahead. Tianming stopped and looked ahead, his face pale. In the distance, a vortex as big as the one they had encountered before was sweeping toward them, cutting off their escape route. Tianming had nowhere else to retreat to under the pincer attack. Once the two vortexes closed in, they wouldn't be able to survive. Unless they ran to the sides. However, the vortexes were endless. With their speed, would they be able to rush out of the range of the vortex before it arrived? That was basically impossible. After all, there were vortexes everywhere in the spiral galaxy. They couldn't be fast. The only reason they were so fast was because they were using the safe passage they had discovered earlier. Tianming's expression was ugly, and so was Murong Yu's. He realized that Hichu Luoshu couldn't teleport. He couldn't sense the teleportation point outside the spiral galaxy. Without teleportation, Murong Yu could only rely on luck and strength if he wanted to leave. This made him very depressed. However, now wasn't the time to be depressed. Since Hichu Luoshu couldn't teleport, he could only rely on himself. Activating the all-character art to the extreme, Murong Yu began to sense the danger. Both the left and the right were filled with endless danger. However, the danger on the right was relatively small. Although it was still dangerous, there was still a chance of survival. Therefore, Murong Yu decided to go from the right. Tianming didn't say anything. At this moment, he already believed in Murong Yu. Murong Yu's divination skills were much better than his. There are still many dangers ahead. If we are not careful, we will die in the Maelstrom star system. Murong Yu used his speed to quickly fly past one maelstrom after another. Tianming, who was following behind him, trembled in fear. Even he did not dare to travel at such a high speed in the Maelstrom galaxy. Otherwise, what would he do if he accidentally rushed into a whirlpool? He activated the wholeness formula with all his might. In the process of accelerating, Murong Yu did not blindly charge forward, nor did he charge in a straight line. With the help of the all-character technique, Murong Yu often knew about the dangers ahead a few breaths in advance. Therefore, when he was about to rush into a whirlpool, he would move to the side. Although it was just a scare, Tianming was still scared witless. At the same time, he was inwardly impressed by Murong Yu's accuracy in divination. However, even if Murong Yu rushed at full speed, he was still far behind the faster and faster maelstrom. The maelstrom was about to reach them. In fact, Murong Yu and Tianming could already feel the terrifying aura coming from the maelstrom. Looks like we're going to be wiped out. Tianming smiled bitterly. Murong Yu's face was a little gloomy. In this situation, even if he continued to rush, he would not be able to escape. Was he really going to die here? He was not willing. However, in the end, he stopped. Instead of making a useless struggle, it was better to think of a way to avoid this disaster. The only thing he could think of now was Hichu Luoshu. Hichu Luoshu was a treasure, and a small maelstrom could not damage it. However, Hichu Luoshu's level was not too high. Thus, there would be overflow damage. The overflow damage could directly harm Murong Yu. With his current strength, he would not be able to withstand the overflow damage. Fight! Murong Yu gritted his teeth. Even if his physical body was shattered by the overflow damage, as long as his primordial spirit was still there, he would not die. Moreover, who knew if he could withstand the overflow damage? It looks like we can't escape. Let's enter my spatial treasure first. Perhaps we can escape death. Murong Yu looked at Tianming. Tianming nodded. He had no other choice now, so this was the only way. Thus, the two of them entered Hichu Luoshu. Whoosh! Hichu Luoshu continued to move forward. However, it was clear that all of this was futile. Soon, the maelstrom was nearing them. I will try my best to resist the damage of the spatial treasure. Tianming, I need you to lend me a hand. Seeing the maelstrom getting closer and closer, Murong Yu's expression became serious. Tian nodded and sat cross-legged behind Murong Yu, her hands already supporting Murong Yu's back. At the same time, all of his treasures were released from the spatial treasure. Murong Yu's side was also filled with all sorts of treasures. Some were used to recover strength, while others were used to heal injuries. As for the Shadow Stepping Palace, Murong Yu did not use it. This was because the overflow damage would directly affect his body, and the Shadow Stepping Palace's defense was useless. Within his dantian, the towering tree of life, which was rooted in the endless primordial chaos, was trembling rapidly. At every moment it was swallowing a vast amount of primordial chaos energy, which surged into Murong Yu's dantian. Immediately, a portion of this energy was quickly replenished into Murong Yu's strength, while another portion was converted into life energy, protecting Murong Yu's entire body. Once his physical body was damaged, this life force would immediately repair the damaged body. Boom! Just as Murong Yu and Tian finished their preparations, the maelstrom had already swallowed up the tiny particles of Hichu Luoshu. The reason why Hichu Luoshu had been reduced to such a tiny particle was because of this. Murong Yu had done his best to reduce the surface area of Hichu Luoshu, which was the attack area, as much as possible. This way, the attack would be infinitely smaller, increasing their chances of survival. The moment Hichu Luoshu was sucked into the maelstrom, Murong Yu did not suffer any overflow damage, but instead felt the world spinning. At this moment, he could feel Hichu Luoshu spinning at an extremely terrifying speed, just like a maelstrom. If Murong Yu's divine sense could reach out to the He-Tu and the inscription of the Luo, he would have discovered that the He-Tu and the inscription of the Luo seemed to have turned into a whirlpool of energy. It was rapidly rotating along with the whirlpool's energy. It wasn't being attacked at all. Perhaps this was because Hichu Luoshu was too small, and had been assimilated by the maelstrom. However, even though they were not attacked, Murong Yu and Tianming were not feeling well. The high-speed spinning made them dizzy. At first, they could still bear it, but soon they could no longer bear it. Dizziness, discomfort. They were on the verge of fainting. However, Murong Yu gritted his teeth and forced himself to stay awake. Otherwise, who knew what would happen after he fainted? The power of high-speed spinning, even if it doesn't contain much attack power, is still very destructive. If my power is turned into a maelstrom, won't my attack power go up a level? Will it be even more terrifying? When entering the maelstrom, Murong Yu did not think about how to escape, but how to make his attack power even more terrifying and powerful. Only he would be so eccentric. Tianming, who was beside him, almost fainted even though he was a celestial realm expert. At this moment, his mind was blank. How could he think of anything? If the speed of the power in my body is the same as the speed of the maelstrom outside, won't I not be affected by the maelstrom? Since that's the case, why don't I give it a try? Murong Yu suddenly had a flash of inspiration, and began to rotate his power at full strength. Soon, Murong Yu was pleasantly surprised. Normally, his power would not be able to rotate at such a high speed at all. But at this moment, because he was affected by the maelstrom outside. As soon as he had this thought, the power in his body began to rotate rapidly. However, the maelstrom now only formed a huge cycle in his body, forming a huge maelstrom. Although this reduced Murong Yu's dizziness, it had almost no effect on increasing his attack power. After all, once the power left his body, it would no longer continue to form a maelstrom. If he wanted to increase his attack power, he had to let the power that left his body form a maelstrom. It would be best if every power was formed by countless invisible small maelstrom. In this way, when a power was released, it would contain hundreds of millions of small maelstrom. Each of these small maelstrom rotated at high speed, containing terrifying destructive power. If hundreds of millions of small maelstrom were to combine together, how terrifying would the destructive power be? At that time, as long as he threw a punch, he would be able to tear his opponent into hundreds of millions of pieces, right? However, how to form hundreds of millions of small maelstrom with the power in his body was a problem. In the high-speed rotation, Murong-Yu began to make various attempts. First, he separated the power, then let the separated power rotate. This way, there was no problem. However, these spinning power maelstrom could not be combined into one to form a force. If the maelstrom can do it, why can't I? Murong-Yu continued to make various attempts. His huge divine consciousness even wanted to extend out of Hichu Luoshu. He needed to see how the maelstrom outside was formed. Chapter 21:18. Whoosh. However, the moment Murong-Yu's divine will left the Hichu Luoshu, it was already shattered. It was to the extent that, if he hadn't cut off the connection with that strand of divine sense in time, his entire body would have been pulled out of the He-Tu and Luoshu by the vortex at an extremely fast speed, and then directly crushed into pieces. After the first failure, Murong-Yu did not make any more attempts. This was because he knew that no matter how many times he tried, the result would be the same. Unless the divine will he sent out of the Hichu Luoshu was at the same speed as the vortex outside. This way, his divine will would not be torn to shreds. However, with Murong-Yu's current strength, it was impossible for him to do so. The reason why the Hichu Luoshu was at the same speed as the vortex was because it was passive, and not because Murong-Yu had taken the initiative. Since this method did not work, he could only watch. Thus, he made the Hichu Luoshu transparent and looked directly at it with the naked eye. Although the effect was minimal, it was better than not seeing it. Murong-Yu discovered that the vortex storm outside was actually formed by many vortexes of different sizes. These vortexes could almost form an incomparably huge vortex storm because each vortex was moving at the same speed. In other words, they were rotating at the same frequency. However, these vortexes did not merge into one vortex. They still maintained their respective forms. Murong-Yu frowned slightly, unable to figure out this reason for a moment. However, in his body, he had already begun to try. The power in his body was forcibly divided into billions of parts by Murong-Yu. Under Murong-Yu's control, one part of the power began to rotate at high speed, and finally formed a small vortex. Of course, Murong-Yu's so-called high speed was not the high speed of the vortexes in the spiral galaxy. With Murong-Yu's current strength, he was still unable to do this. However, the power that erupted from this speed was also stronger than before. The first part of the power succeeded. Murong-Yu continued to control the second part of the power. Without any suspense, the second energy also successfully turned into a vortex of energy. It was not a problem for Murong-Yu to condense a single energy into a power vortex. After the two forces, the problem arose: how to combine two whirlpools into a large whirlpool while maintaining its original form. Murong-Yu gave it a try. Bang! As soon as the two vortexes of power collided, they exploded violently. The power of the explosion was quite terrifying. It was almost equivalent to a punch from Murong-Yu with 30% of his strength. Caught off guard, Murong-Yu's meridians were directly blown apart. Even the tens of thousands of small forces near the meridians were caught in the crossfire. They kept exploding and quickly spread into the distance. If this continued, Murong-Yu's entire body would explode. As a result, Murong-Yu's entire body was blown to smithereens. With a thought, Murong-Yu suppressed the rioting forces. Then, the power of life vibrated. In an instant, the damaged meridians would be repaired. Murong Yu exclaimed in his heart. However, he did not stop and continued to create a power vortex. Once the power vortex was successful, Murong Yu's combat power would become even stronger. This was the best way to increase one's strength without increasing one's realm. Bang! 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 Murong Yu did not know how many times he had tried. His meridians were blown to smithereens and were repaired again and again. Finally, when Murong Yu brought the two vortexes of power close to each other again, he was ready to repair his smithereens again. However, he did not hear or see any explosion. Success? A look of joy flashed across Murong Yu's face. Taking a closer look, the two vortexes of energy had indeed joined together to form an even larger vortex of energy. From a distance, this power vortex was twice as big as the previous two. However, if one looked closely, they would find that this bigger vortex was formed by two different vortexes. Keep up the good work. In the following time, Murong Yu merged the two smaller power vortexes into a bigger power vortex. In the beginning, he didn't succeed every time. Perhaps it was a few hundred times, or maybe it was 100 times before he succeeded. However, as Murong Yu continued to merge, his experience became richer and richer. In the end, every time he made a move, his success rate was almost 100%. After merging the two vortexes, Murong Yu found that his combat power was at least 50% stronger than before. This effect was quite terrifying. If he fought with Luan Ruiming now, he could defeat Luan Ruiming even without using the Chaos Blade. However, this was not the final effect Murong Yu wanted. What he wanted was to be able to kill an existence like Luan Ruiming in one move under the circumstances of his current realm. This required more power vortexes in Murong Yu's body to combine into one. Countless vortexes formed an incomparably huge vortex, and this incomparably huge vortex was the power in Murong Yu's body. Moreover, Murong Yu also wanted the power that entered his body to automatically transform into a power vortex without him needing to deliberately control it. Therefore, Murong Yu began to study how to merge the three vortexes together. Time flew by, and Murong Yu had already spent a few days in the vortex storm. On this day, he felt the Hichu Luoshu suddenly shake violently. Then, it stopped rotating. It seemed to have left the vortex storm? Murong Yu sighed and woke up from his cultivation. He did not know how many times he had tried, but he still did not succeed. Moreover, once he failed, the power of the three power vortexes would be even more terrifying and break even more meridians. After trying so many times, Murong Yu did not know how many meridians in his body had been broken. In any case, none of them were complete. It's probably because my power is not strong enough. I'll try again when I have another breakthrough and become stronger. However, now that my combat power has increased by at least 50%, it can be considered a huge gain. Murong Yu thought in his heart, and a smile appeared on his face. If all the power in my body is transformed into the power of this vortex, a punch will contain the power of billions of vortexes. At that time, how many times will my combat power increase? No, the combat power will be the same, but the destructive power will be greatly increased. The power vortexes could not directly increase one's combat power, and they could only increase one's destructive power. If Murong Yu's punch could cause the effect of 1 unit of power with the same power before, then his punch could cause the effect of 1.5 units of power with the same power. Seems like we've left the Whirlpool Galaxy? Murong Yu stood up, and then used his power to awaken the unconscious Tianming. This fellow was unable to get used to the high-speed rotation of the Hichu Luoshu, and had fainted long ago. Only then did Murong Yu come to his senses. Originally, he had been unable to resist the high-speed rotation of the Hichu Luoshu. However, during the process of studying the power vortexes, he actually did not rotate. In fact, after the success of the power vortexes, He seemed to have resonated with the vortexes outside to a certain extent. If the power vortexes in his body rotated at the same frequency and speed as the vortexes in the Whirlpool Galaxy, then he would not be injured even if he entered the vortexes in the Whirlpool Galaxy, or even the vortexes were not dead? After Tian Ming woke up, he was first stunned, and then he blurted out. Murong Yu could not help but roll his eyes. If we were dead, would we still be standing here now? As he spoke, with a thought, he left the Hichu Luoshu with Tianming, and appeared in the space outside. This is the secret plane we're going to enter. Tianming first looked around, and then could not help but cry out in surprise. Murong Yu was also a little surprised. The vortexes had brought them to the secret plane? This was indeed a shortcut. After all, there was no need for them to walk. However, the secret plane is at the very center of the Whirlpool Galaxy. Although we arrived safely, it will be difficult for us to leave. Tianming's face was a little gloomy. The vortexes swept all the way, and everything in their path was crushed into powder. The safe passage they had originally been in had long been swallowed up. If they wanted to go back, they would have to slowly explore before they could leave. During this process, they could easily step into the vortexes and be swallowed up. And then there was no and then. Leave the matter of leaving to me, Murong Yu said with a smile. Just now, he had sensed that he could already sense the teleportation point outside the Whirlpool Galaxy. In other words, he could directly teleport away through the Hichu Luoshu. There was no need for him to take another risk. Since this secret plane could sense the teleportation points outside the galaxy, it would definitely be able to sense the teleportation points in other galaxies. The reason why he could not sense the teleportation points in other galaxies before was probably because of the vortexes, which had disrupted the space of the entire galaxy. In the future, if Murong Yu wanted to come to this secret plane, he would not have to cross the long Whirlpool Galaxy. He could come here with just a thought. From this moment on, this secret plane would become Murong Yu's backyard. Of course, Murong Yu was not sure if he could be teleported here when the secret plane was closed. I wonder if Tianhe and the others will be so lucky? Tianming sighed. Given how terrifying the two vortexes were, if a miracle did not happen, Tianhe and the others would undoubtedly die. However, if they were able to survive, perhaps a miracle would happen to Tianhe and the others as well? Which one of those who could cultivate to the celestial stage did not have the blessing of great fortune? Whether they live or die has nothing to do with us. Our priority is to plunder the treasures here as much as possible. Otherwise, if Tianhe and the others are not dead, they will come and snatch the treasures from us. Murong Yu smiled and sped up, leaving first. Chapter 21:19. Although this mystic realm was at the center of the Whirlpool Mystic Realm, there was no whirlpool inside, so it was very safe. This was puzzling. Of course, there were too many puzzles in the world, and Murong Yu did not have the time to think about these unanswered questions. Perhaps it was because no one usually came here, but there were treasures everywhere in the mystic realm. There were also many treasures that were rarely seen in the outside world. However, most of them were not old enough. After all, the mystic realm opened every once in a while, and only 20 people could enter each time. The mystic realm was very big, and the deeper they went, the stronger the beasts were. Even Tianming and the others usually only walked around the outer area of the mystic realm, and did not enter deeper areas. This was because although there were no whirlpools in the mystic realm, there were beasts. Murong Yu had only entered the mystic realm for a short while, and he had already encountered many powerful beasts. The weakest ones were at least level 7 or 8 of the Genesis realm. As the two of them went deeper, there were more and more beasts of the Heaven realm. Level 1 beasts of the Heaven realm. Deeper in, there were level 2 and 3 beasts of the Heaven realm, and even higher levels. This was what Tianming had warned Murong Yu when they first entered the mystic realm. Because Tianming had entered this mystic realm many times, He knew where to find treasures of a sufficient age. Therefore, under his lead, the two of them gained more and more. They even collected many treasures of the Heaven Realm to refine the Heaven Realm pill, while Murong Yu was collecting treasures of the Heaven Realm, on the other side of the Mystic Realm. Swoosh! A figure fell from the void, and then a scream resounded through the world. The next moment, a figure climbed up from the ground. His clothes were torn, his hair was messy, and he was in a sorry state. If Murong Yu was here, he would definitely recognize who this person was. He was one of the Heaven Realm elites in the Milky Way star field, Sky He. I finally entered this mystic realm, although I'm severely injured. Sky He laughed when he realized that he had entered the mystic realm and was not killed by the whirlpool storm. Then, he found a secluded place and began to heal his injuries. After all, at this time, his strength was greatly reduced, and any random celestial realm ferocious beast could kill him with a slap. At the same time, on the other side of the secret realm, two people were carefully moving stealthily. Who else could it be but Qing Xia and Ku Qingwan? However, the two of them were also in a very sorry state. However, his aura was stable, which should be much better than Sky Crane's. Apart from them, there was no one else. Or were they recovering from their injuries like the Sky Crane? Or perhaps it had already been ground to dust by the whirlpool storm. This mystic realm only has heaven and earth treasures? Although he had gained a lot, these heaven and earth treasures were not very attractive to Murong Yu. After all, there were many good things in the Xingyang Dao residence. If that's the case, why would we, the 10 great celestial tier elites, go through so much hardship to enter this place? Tianming smiled and continued, we don't know the depths of this mystic realm, but even if it's just the outer area, sometimes treasures will appear. The worst treasures are celestial realm treasures, and previously, we even encountered a true self-realm treasure. However, it's a pity that even with the combined strength of the 10 great celestial tier elites, we couldn't take that origin item. In the end, we could only watch it fly away. Treasures will appear? Murong Yu was a little surprised. Can this mystic realm nurture treasures on its own? If that's the case, this mystic realm is really too shocking. Tianming quickly shook his head. Those treasures are not nurtured by heaven and earth, but the weapons of some elites in the ancient times or even the ancient times. I guess this mystic realm may be the location of a sect in the ancient times or the ancient times. However, I don't know what happened later, but this sect declined. If there's really a true self-realm origin item, and this is the sect of a certain sect, there may be true self-realm techniques or even inheritances inside. Murong Yu said lightly. Tianming's eyes lit up, and then he nodded heavily. We think so too. However, we don't need a true self-realm inheritance. Just give us a celestial realm inheritance. As long as there's an inheritance, our cultivation won't be like flies flying around. We won't be stuck at the first level of the celestial realm and be unable to break through to a higher realm. Murong Yu's heart skipped a beat, and then he laughed. Maybe we'll get a celestial realm inheritance this time? Tianming was overjoyed, and he looked at Murong Yu. Really? He was now very confident in Murong Yu's divination skills. If Murong Yu really said so, maybe they really could get a celestial realm inheritance this time. Murong Yu's face darkened. He didn't try to divine. After all, it took a lot of energy to divine. The reason why he said that was completely on a whim. Swish. At that moment, in the distance in front of Murong Yu and Tianming, a dazzling white light suddenly shot up into the sky. It was a huge pillar of light that looked like a pillar supporting the sky. The pillar of light reached the sky, emitting a dazzling light that affected the entire outer area of the secret realm. Murong Yu's eyes were blinded by the light, and he only felt his vision go black. Before he could see again, Tianming's ecstatic voice rang in his ears. A treasure has appeared. Such a dazzling treasure must be at least a high-level celestial realm one. High-level celestial realm? Murong Yu's heart skipped a beat. A treasure of this level was a peerless treasure for Tian Ming and the others. Even for Murong Yu, it was a rare treasure. Let's go and take a look. Tian Ming couldn't wait to soar into the sky and shoot in the direction of the pillar of light. Murong Yu shook his head and followed. A treasure has appeared? Hee, it's better to come at the right time than to come early. Skeleton's figure appeared in the void, not far away from Murong Yu and Tian Ming. He took a few steps in the void, and in a flash, he quickly disappeared on the spot. At the same time, Qing Xia, Tian He, and the others were also alarmed by the pillar of light. One by one, they spread out their bodies and flew over quickly. The pillar of light became smaller and smaller. In the end, before Murong Yu and Tian Ming could get close, the pillar of light had completely disappeared. In the end, Murong Yu and Tian Ming had no idea where the treasure was. They could only slowly search in the nearby area. Murong Yu didn't think much of it. After all, he wasn't determined to get this treasure. However, Tian Ming had a look of pity on his face. An enormous divine thought covered the surrounding area, and Murong Yu and Tian Ming started a carpet search. However, it didn't take long for them to stop, because they found an acquaintance. Skeleton. Haha, we meet again. Hello everyone. Skeleton laughed heartily as he greeted Murong Yu and Li Chia. However, for some reason, Murong Yu felt that Skeleton was filled with killing intent towards him. Pure and undisguised killing intent. If not for Tian Ming, the first thing that Skeleton would do would not be to greet him, but to kill Murong Yu with a punch. Tian Ming's face darkened. Since Skeleton had appeared, it wouldn't be long before Tian He, Tian Hu, and the others appeared. After all, even Skeleton, a new Celestial Realm expert, managed to keep his life, let alone Tian He, Tian Hu, and the other veteran Celestial Realm experts. With more people, the chances of him getting the treasure would be greatly reduced. Tian Ming nodded slightly at Skeleton, and then continued to search. Seeing Murong Yu and Tian Ming, Skeleton heaved a sigh of relief. He knew that Murong Yu and Tian Ming hadn't gotten the treasure yet. He also started to search for the jade. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Not long after, Tian He, Qing Xia, Tian Hu, and the others all arrived. The 11 Celestial Realm experts of the Milky Way star field were all present. However, many of the young geniuses were absent. Luan Ruiming, Hu Yenyu, and the others didn't appear. Tian Ming didn't know if they were not swept into the secret realm, or if they had been torn to pieces by the whirlpool storm. What's going on? That treasure was clearly born in this area, so why is it gone? After searching a few rounds around the area, Tian Ming still couldn't find anything. He couldn't help but feel strange. Tian Ming, you're the first one to arrive. Could it be that you've already gotten the treasure? Tian He suddenly said. Whoosh. The others immediately looked at Tian Ming, full of suspicion. Tian Ming couldn't help but feel angry. If I had gotten the treasure, would I still need to pretend to search for it with you? It's not impossible. King Ren sneered. If he had gotten the treasure, he would have pretended that he didn't get it and continued to search here so as not to arouse the other experts' suspicion and end up being attacked by a group. What you say is your business. The truth is that I didn't get the treasure. In fact, I don't even know what the treasure is. Tian Ming sneered with a hint of anger in his voice. However, his temper was really good. If it had been anyone else, they would have turned hostile. Everyone just looked at Tian Ming and sneered. They even gradually approached Tian Ming, as if they wanted to attack him. 10 Celestial Realm experts attacked Tian Ming together. Even if Tian Ming was the strongest among them, he would probably die here. Murong Yu also felt a little baffled. He even suspected that the beam of light from earlier was really the birth of a treasure. Boom! At that moment, a terrifying aura suddenly shrouded Murong Yu's heart. At the same time, a terrifying force filled with destructive power blasted up from beneath his feet. Murong Yu was shocked and immediately took a step forward. Chapter 21:20. Boom. Before Murong Yu could leave, a glaring light containing terrifying power shot up into the sky from the ground under his feet. After a loud bang, the light directly hit Murong Yu's body. In that instant, Murong Yu felt a frightening force slam into his body. Even his powerful body that had reached the 5th level of the insight realm could not withstand it and shattered. At the same time, Tianming and the others were shocked. However, they quickly came to their senses. This was because they realized that the glaring white light that suddenly appeared was the same as the white light that they had seen before. In other words, it was the light emitted by a treasure that had appeared. Whoosh! After they reacted, everyone except Murong Yu reached out their hands and grabbed at the ground. However, Tianming would not forget about Murong Yu because of the treasure. A divine thought swept over and asked if Murong Yu was alright. Of course, Murong Yu was fine. He was just caught off guard and his body was shattered by the terrifying power. His soul was not hurt. As for his shattered body, he could repair it with just a thought. After knowing that Murong Yu was fine, Tianming joined the army of snatching with all his might. Rumble, the power of the 11 celestial realm powerhouses collided violently in the void, and the terrifying power that erupted annihilated heaven and earth. However, it could not extinguish the glaring light. Until now, everyone was only focused on snatching, but they still did not know what treasure was under the light. However, this had nothing to do with Murong Yu. With a thought, he had already repaired his body. At the same time, he quickly retreated. Although he had successfully condensed the power vortex, his lethality had skyrocketed. The gap between him and the celestial realm was still huge. If he continued to stay where he was, he would only be killed. Other than Murong Yu, Kuqinwan and the others were the same. After retreating far away, Murong Yu stayed in the distance and watched the battle of the 11 celestial realm powerhouses. The battle was extremely terrifying. Because the treasure was right in front of them, the 11 heaven-tier elites did not show any mercy. Each of them exploded with their strongest power, wanting to blast the other 10 people away so that they could seize the treasure that was about to appear. However, the other 10 people were not easy to deal with. Thus, before the treasure had even appeared, the 11 heaven-tier powerhouses had already begun to fight with their lives on the line. However, after a while, it was clear who was strong and who was weak among the 11. The weakest was naturally Skeleton, the newly ascended heaven-tier elite. After fighting for a while, he was at a disadvantage, and for some unknown reason, the original 10 veteran heaven-tier elites suddenly turned their muzzles against the Skeleton as one, and directly attacked him. Puff! Even if the Skeleton was on guard, it was completely unable to withstand the combined attack of 10 veteran heaven-tier elite. He spat out a mouthful of blood and was sent flying. All of you! I will definitely repay you 10,000 times for what you did today. Skeleton's voice was filled with resentment. Then, he took a step forward and disappeared from everyone's sight. Skeleton also had self-awareness. He knew that the top 10 veteran heaven-tier elites were not happy with him. If he continued to stay here, Tianming and the others might join forces to kill him first. Since there was no hope of seizing the treasure, he might as well just leave. As the saying goes, revenge is a dish best served cold. After blasting Skeleton away together, Tianming and the others began to fight again. The battle continued. Boom! At that moment, the ground at the bottom of the blinding light suddenly exploded. Then, an even more blinding and dazzling light burst out. Murong Yu narrowed his eyes slightly. Fortunately, he was prepared. Otherwise, when the light burst out, it would cause his eyes to turn black. As he narrowed his eyes, he suddenly saw a book that was shining with a dazzling light shoot up from the ground and was about to fly into the distance. A book? Is this a cultivation technique, an inheritance, or a Yuan tool? Murong Yu's heart skipped a beat. On the other side, although Tianming and the others were sent flying, they immediately reached out and chased after the book. Buzz! The book shook violently and released a powerful force, sending Tianming and the others flying again. Then, the book tore through the void and turned into a stream of light, flying in the direction of Skeleton. Chase! Tianming and the other Heaven-tier elites chased after it without hesitation. In the blink of an eye, the book, Tianming, and the others had completely disappeared in front of Murong Yu and the others. Whoosh! Immediately, Murong Yu's divine thought extended to the place where the book broke out of the ground. However, the others had the same thought as him. Kuqingwan, Fan Yubing, and the others also looked over with their divine thought. It was a bottomless cave. Perhaps the book had been sealed in this cave all along. Murong Yu did not hesitate. He took a step forward and rushed down. There might be other treasures down there. When Murong Yu's figure moved, the others also moved. All of them rushed towards the cave. However, Murong Yu was still a bit faster and was the first to rush into the cave. Murong Yu immediately took out the Shadow Stepping Palace. After all, they did not know what hidden dangers there were in the cave. Murong Yu quickly descended and landed on the ground. When he opened his eyes, he saw that it was a small stone room. Unfortunately, it was a mess and many things had been destroyed. There was nothing. After searching the entire stone room with his divine thought, Murong Yu did not find anything valuable. Humph! Fan Yubing glared fiercely at Murong Yu, then soared into the sky and left the stone room. Murong Yu was baffled. All he did was snatch Fan Yubing's command medallion during the Rong family's gathering of heroes. Was there a need for her to hate him so much? Moreover, Fan Yubing's hatred for Murong Yu started before he snatched her command medallion. If that wasn't the case, Murong Yu wouldn't have tried to snatch her token. Wife, did you discover anything? Murong Yu beamed as he walked to Kuqingwan's side, revealing a radiant smile. Kuqingwan glared at Murong Yu fiercely. She really wanted to step on Murong Yu's detestable face and ravage it to her heart's content. However, she knew that Murong Yu's ability to step on Luan Ruiming and become the first on the 100 talents list was not just for show. Since Murong Yu had that ability, she, Kuqingwan, might not be a match for him now. Therefore, she endured it. I didn't, Kuqingwan said with a cold face and left as well. The other members of the 100 talents ranking also left the place one after another with dark expressions on their faces. They were extremely displeased with Murong Yu, who had suddenly stepped all over them, and they didn't like it at all. Therefore, they did not care about Murong Yu at all. Murong Yu shook his head. These people, they say that they are the most outstanding of the younger generation in the Milky Way star, but they are too stingy. A treasure. As he spoke, Murong Yu suddenly let out a cry of surprise from behind him. Swish, swish, swish. Kuqingwan and the others, who had already left, turned into a stream of light and rushed in after hearing Murong Yu's words. Only Murong Yu flew up casually. By the time Murong Yu stood back on the ground, Kuqingwan and the others had already rushed up to him with dark expressions. Murong Yu, how dare you lie to us? Tang Zian looked at Murong Yu with a dark expression and a murderous look. The others also looked at Murong Yu angrily. Murong Yu had an innocent look on his face. How did I lie to you? There is clearly nothing down there. Why are you shouting? Kong Jiaping said unhappily. Murong Yu looked at Kong Jiaping and the others as if they were idiots. Have your brains been blown out by the whirlpool storm? Did I say there was treasure down there? If there was really treasure, would I be stupid enough to shout it out? You are blaming others for your own greed? When the others heard this, they seemed to think that Murong Yu's words made sense. From the beginning to the end, he did not seem to have said that there was treasure down there. A bunch of idiots, Murong Yu said disdainfully. Tang Zian and the others were enraged as they slowly approached Murong Yu. What? You want everyone? I will accompany you. Murong Yu's face showed that he was eager to give it a try. After he condensed the energy whirlpool, he had not found anyone to practice with. The strength of Tang Zian and the others could not be better if they joined forces. This was his purpose. Otherwise, why would he provoke these idiots for no reason? Kong Jiaping sneered and took a step forward, arriving in front of Murong-yu. Just as he was about to speak, 10 shadows emitting a terrifying aura quickly shot over from the distance. The speed of these people was very fast, and soon they appeared in front of Murong-yu and the others. It was Tianming and the others. At this time, their faces were all dark. Murong-yu, let's go. After Tianming came to Murong-yu's side, he was about to leave with Murong-yu. Naturally, the battle between Murong-yu and Kong Jiaping would be over before it even started. Looking at your expressions, it seems that you did not get the book? Murong-yu asked. Don't mention it, the book was obtained by the skeleton. Tianming said gloomily. Murong-yu and the others were stunned. The book was obtained by the skeleton? One must know that the skeleton was defeated by the joint forces of Tianming and the others. He was not qualified to fight for the treasure. They did not expect that the unintentional willow would be a shade. At this time, the skeleton was probably overjoyed, right? Tianming and the others were about to die of depression. If they knew the result, would they still join forces to defeat the skeleton? If the skeletons didn't leave, then they would be the ones to get the book. That book is a high-level celestial realm origin artifact. Moreover, there might be an inheritance in it. Tianming continued to be depressed. An inheritance of a high-level celestial realm origin artifact? Now that the skeleton had obtained it, the skeleton's strength would surely soar by leaps and bounds. Thinking of the previous scene, Tian-he and the others' faces were a little gloomy. Once the skeleton broke through, he would definitely settle the score with them first. Chapter 21-21. Sky Crane and the rest of the Deva Realm powerhouses had dark faces as they led their people away worriedly. Seeing the situation, Murong-yu could not help snickering a little. Perhaps these people were used to being in a high position, or perhaps it was because they could not break through for a long time. They no longer had the will to make progress, and even began to worry about the future. So what if the skeleton obtained a high-level Deva Realm inheritance? So what if he obtained a high-level Deva Realm essence artifact? He had just broken through not long ago. How could he break through to level 2 Deva Realm so quickly? In reality, Murong-yu did not understand Sky Crane and the rest's thoughts. Sky Crane and the rest were all veteran Deva Realm powerhouses after all. Veteran, that was because they had been stuck at level 1 Deva Realm for too long and could not break through. Therefore, they all knew that if no miracle happened, they would not be able to break through. If they could break through, they would have broken through long ago. But the skeleton obtained a high-level Deva Realm inheritance and had an extremely high possibility of breaking through. Therefore, Murong-yu and the rest's worries were not without reason. Among the 10 great veteran Deva Realm powerhouses, only Tianming was considered more optimistic. Perhaps he was confident in his divination of heaven's secrets. Let's continue as well and strive to have more gains before the mystic realm opens, Tianming said and flew away first. In the following time, Murong-yu duo still shuttled back and forth in the mystic realm's peripheral regions, harvesting stocks of natural treasures one after another. There were also treasures that suddenly appeared, but they were all not very high-grade. Murong-yu and Li Wuyo also collected a few Heaven Realm origin tools. But compared to that book obtained by the skeleton, it was nothing. On this day, Tianming called out to Murong-yu, saying that the time for the mystic realm to close was about to arrive. Murong-yu nodded and put Tianming away into the Hichu Luoshu, then left this mystic realm with a teleportation. There was no need to cross the crisis-ridden Whirlpool Galaxy again, at all. As for Sky Crane and the rest, how did they leave, and could they leave safely? What did this have to do with Murong-yu? 10 days later, Murong-yu began closed-door cultivation. Why 10 days later? He had to know if Hichu Luoshu could continue to sense the teleportation point after the secret realm was completely closed. He could still sense it. However, Murong-yu did not attempt to enter. What if he went in and couldn't come out? This was a critical moment. If he did not come out, the solar system would probably be destroyed by the skeletons. Before going into seclusion, Morong Yu ordered Tianming to continue searching for treasures to refine the celestial pill. Now, he only needed a few more ingredients. The pressure from the skeletons made the Celestials work even harder to find the missing celestial pills. Morong Yu didn't have the time to pay attention to these murderers. After entering Hichu Luoshu, he immediately activated the time acceleration function. He didn't go to the Rising Sun Dao residence to raise his cultivation level. After all, he couldn't directly raise his soul cultivation level now. The purpose of his seclusion was to fuse more small vortexes of power. Time passed quickly. Morong Yu didn't let the 3 vortexes of power fuse together. Instead, he divided the power in his body into more vortexes of power. The speed of each vortex was the same, but the number of vortexes was increasing. The more vortexes there were in each unit of power, the greater the lethality. For example, if there was only 1 vortex in a unit of power, then the lethality of this unit was equivalent to 1. However, if there were 10 vortexes in this unit of power, then the lethality of this unit of power was equivalent to 10, or even 11, or even higher. However, although there were many vortexes of power, these vortexes couldn't be fused together. Therefore, the power was still relatively scattered. The vortexes of power can't continue to grow. If they continue to increase, these vortexes will go out of control and explode. When the vortexes of power increased to 10 times their original size, Morong Yu stopped growing. After sensing it, Morong Yu found that his combat power hadn't increased, but his lethality was stronger than before. Although it was only an increase of 2 points, it was already quite terrifying. Now I have to condense the 3rd vortex of power into the larger vortex formed by the fusion of the 2 vortexes. Morong Yu muttered in his heart. It had already begun. Time passed year after year. After 10 years in the endless starry sky, Morong Yu felt that the heavenly mandate was calling him. However, Morong Yu was at a critical juncture and didn't pay attention. A year later, the heavenly mandate came to find Morong Yu again. This time, Morong Yu clearly felt the heavenly mandate's anxiousness. However, he still didn't appear. The revolution hadn't succeeded. He wouldn't let his closed-door cultivation be interrupted. Because, at this time, there was only one step left. Success. When the heavenly mandate came to call Morong Yu for the 10th time, Morong Yu finally stopped cultivating. Instead, he stood up and laughed loudly. At this time, Morong Yu's realm didn't change much. He was still in the 5th level of the Insight realm. Even the aura on his body didn't change. He was still the same as many years ago. However, in fact, Morong Yu had changed a lot. In the meridians in his body, if someone saw his power, they would find that his power was formed by small, almost invisible vortexes. And these vortexes were divided into 3 groups. 3 vortexes in a group. Morong Yu could feel that his lethality had increased by at least 50% compared to before. In other words, compared to before entering the spiral galaxy, his lethality had at least doubled. In fact, it was 1.2 times more lethality. If he faced Luan Ruiming now, Morong Yu was confident that he could quickly kill him. Moreover, he didn't need to rely on powerful treasures like the Chaos Blade. With a thought, Morong Yu appeared in the Rong family. At this time, the heavenly mandate was about to leave. Morong Yu, you finally appeared. Seeing Morong Yu appear, the heavenly mandate was pleasantly surprised. However, there was also anxiety and worry in the surprise. What's going on? Morong Yu frowned slightly. Morong Yu was really curious about something that could make a veteran Celestial Realm expert like Tianming so anxious and worried. The skeleton has successfully broken through to the 2nd level of the Celestial Realm. The heavenly mandate said helplessly. What? Morong Yu was shocked. The skeleton's talent was so terrifying? No, this was not a problem of his talent. It must have something to do with the book he got. It was the book that helped him break through. However, if it was only the skeleton breaking through to the second level of the celestial realm, the heavenly mandate wouldn't be like this. Sure enough, the heavenly mandate continued. Murong-Yu finally understood why the heavenly mandate was so anxious. It turned out that after the skeleton broke through to the second level of the celestial realm, the first thing he did was to announce to the entire Milky Way star field that he wanted all the forces in the Milky Way star field to become the skeleton's subordinate forces. The skeleton was now the strongest in the Milky Way star field. Therefore, when the announcement was made, many forces were forced to choose to become the skeleton's subordinate forces. In one night, the skeleton controlled most of the forces in the Milky Way star field almost without bloodshed. Except for the original 10 veteran celestial realm experts. The skeleton was immediately enraged. He led the experts under his command to attack, and was the first to defeat Sky Crane. And Sky Crane, a veteran celestial realm expert, was forced to submit to the skeleton under the pressure of death. In the following time, except for Qing Xia, who was seriously injured and escaped, 8 of the original 10 celestial realm experts had chosen to submit to the skeleton. Only the heavenly mandate relied on the Rong family's various formations to block the skeleton army's attack. As for the solar system that Murong-Yu was concerned about, the skeleton had not yet made a move on those remote and weak galaxies. Presumably, the skeleton wanted to subdue the heavenly mandate before truly unifying the Milky Way star field. Or maybe the skeleton disdained to make a move on those weak galaxies. The heavenly mandate had been guarding the Rong family for 10 years. With the strong attack of Sky Crane and the others, the Rong family's formation was about to be broken. In other words, the Rong family would not be able to hold on for long. At most, it would only be a year. However, what made the heavenly mandate happy was that he had collected all the treasures needed to refine the celestial pill. Now, as long as Murong-Yu could refine the celestial pill, as long as he broke through to the second level of the celestial realm, he would be able to compete with the skeleton. However, Murong-Yu, the key figure, had not appeared. This made the heavenly mandate very anxious. And the more time passed, the more danger he and the Rong family would be in. Once the formation was broken, even if Murong-Yu refined the celestial pill, it would be useless. Because he did not have enough time to cultivate, he would have to break through directly. Moreover, whether the refined celestial pill could help him break through was also a problem. Just this little thing makes you so worried? It's just a small matter, don't worry. After listening, Murong-Yu breathed a sigh of relief and said with a smile. The heavenly mandate looked at Murong-Yu speechlessly. This was a small matter? If this was a small matter, then what was a big matter? Even if Tianming reaches the second level of the celestial realm, he won't be able to break through the Rong family. Don't worry. I'll refine the celestial pill now. Murong-Yu stretched out his hand and took away the storage ring that was filled with the treasures needed to refine the celestial pill. What can you do? The heavenly mandate was still worried. Murong-Yu just smiled mysteriously and disappeared from the heavenly mandate's sight again. This made the heavenly mandate go crazy. Then, he quickly left and went to reinforce the formation. Although Murong-Yu's words sounded nice, who knew if he had the ability to do so? The second level of the celestial realm? A cold glint flashed across Murong-Yu's eyes as he took out a communication jade slip. After inputting some information, he tossed it out. Seeing the communication jade shrink into a stream of light and disappear into the void, Murong-Yu first poured out the treasures needed to refine the celestial pill from the storage ring. Then, he took out the yin-yang cauldron and prepared to refine the celestial pill. Chapter 21-22. The celestial pill, as the name suggested, was a pill of the celestial realm. The pill formula for the celestial pill was given to Murong-Yu by Hichu. As Murong-Yu's strength continued to approach the celestial realm, Hichu's memories became more and more advanced. The celestial pill was just one of the pills in Hichu's memories. It was of great benefit to celestial realm powerhouses. Any celestial realm cultivator who took the celestial pill could increase their comprehension ability and even their chances of breaking through. This ability to increase comprehension ability was not permanent and had a time limit. As for the duration, it depended on the grade of the pill. The higher the compatibility, the longer the duration. However, even the trashiest celestial pill would increase one's comprehension ability by at least 1 day. Murong Yu was now an existence of the Pill Saint level. Although Pill Saint was only a title in the Holy World, even if he left the Holy World and entered the endless starry sky, even if the title of Pill Saint was useless, his skills were still there. Refining a common pill like the celestial pill was not difficult at all. Why was it a common pill? According to Hichu's memories, this kind of celestial pill was as common as origin crystals in some particularly powerful starfields. It could be called a common pill. However, the Milky Way starfield was a little remote, and pills of this level were extremely rare. Therefore, Tianming and the others had never heard of it at all. Therefore, even finding a heaven and earth treasure to refine the celestial pill took a very long time. However, as long as Murong Yu could successfully refine a pill, he could use the yin-yang cauldron to refine it in batches. In fact, if it were not for the fact that the pill formula for the celestial pill given by Hichu was not complete, he would not need these heaven and earth treasures at all. He could just use the yin-yang cauldron to refine them in batches. Because the pill formula was not complete, although there were complete heaven and earth treasures, Murong Yu had to research the correct ratio of heaven and earth treasures. This was much more difficult than simply refining pills. It was just a little easier than creating a new pill himself. However, Tianming was not easy to deal with. He bought a lot of each heaven and earth treasure. He probably wanted to refine more celestial pills. This provided the conditions for Murong Yu's experiment. After classifying the various treasures, Murong Yu began to refine them. Bang! Not long after, an explosion came from the yin-yang cauldron. The cauldron exploded. In other words, the refining of the celestial pill had failed. Murong Yu was not discouraged. After adjusting the ratio of the heaven and earth treasure, he began the second refinement. Bang! 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 He tried again and again, but failed again and again. The various natural treasures that Tianming had racked his brains to obtain were also being consumed at a frightening rate. While Murong Yu was refining the celestial Dan, the skeleton continued to attack the Rong family. Facing the attacks of 10 celestial realm experts, one of whom was a terrifying existence at the second level of the celestial realm, Tianming seemed to be somewhat powerless. The Rong family's solid defenses began to weaken. At this rate, the Rong clan will only be able to hold on for another 10 months at most. If I can't break through to the second level of the celestial realm in 10 months. Thinking of this, Tianming could not help but shake his head and smile bitterly. I don't know if Murong Yu can refine the celestial Dan in 10 months. However, although divining the secrets of the heavens is dangerous, there is still a chance. What is that slim chance of survival? Until now, Tianming had always believed in following Murong Yu and had never wavered. In other words, rather than believing in Murong Yu, he would rather believe in his own divination technique. Whether I can soar to the heavens or not depends on whether I can get through this crisis. Tianming thought to himself and began to reinforce the damaged formation. Time passed, and the heaven and earth treasure gradually decreased. In the end, Murong Yu's face darkened. There was no other reason. There was only one set of heaven and earth treasure left to refine the celestial Dan. If this set of heaven and earth treasure did not succeed, then it would be impossible to refine the celestial Dan. I hope it succeeds. Murong Yu was also somewhat helpless in his heart. Although he was not afraid of the skeleton, and once he showed the disciple token of the heavenly mystery palace, the skeleton would probably be scared away. Even if the skeleton was not afraid, Morong Yu could still ask the power of the Heavenly Mystery Palace to fight against the skeleton, or even destroy the skeleton. However, unless there was no other choice, Morong Yu did not want to borrow the power of the Heavenly Mystery Palace. As for Tianming, after all, he was friends with Tianming. Moreover, if Tianming obtained the Celestial Dan and continued to improve his realm, it would be Morong Yu's credit. Between a powerhouse cultivated by himself and a borrowed powerhouse, Morong Yu would never choose the latter. Therefore, he must succeed. Otherwise, he could only escape. Presumably, after he escaped, the skeleton could not do anything to him. However, he was not willing to escape. A bunch of trash, you can't even break a formation. Outside the Rong family, the skeleton had a gloomy face and cursed at Tian He and the others. He scolded them until they were bleeding. Tian Ming and the others lowered their heads, their faces were gloomy and uncertain, and anger flashed in the depths of their eyes. It was indeed their problem that they could not break the Rong family. And they finally knew Tian Ming's ability. But on the other hand, they were indeed no match for the skeleton. Although it was only a small realm difference, the skeleton could kill them with one punch. Therefore, even if they were humiliated, they did not dare to do anything. There was no other reason, they just did not want to die. Therefore, even if the skeleton humiliated them, they did not say a word. Sir, don't be angry. Although they are a bit trash, if you make a move, wouldn't destroying the Rong family be a piece of cake? A female voice sounded in everyone's ears. But everyone did not even raise their head. However, the anger in their hearts grew stronger and stronger. Especially Tian Hu, the killing intent in his heart surged crazily. There was no other reason, because the woman who spoke was Fan Yubing. As for Fan Yubing, she was his disciple. It was all thanks to him that Fan Yubing was able to obtain what she had before. Now, Fan Yubing had become the skeleton's woman. It didn't matter, it had nothing to do with them if she had become the skeleton's woman. But after Fan Yubing became the skeleton's woman, she became arrogant and did not put Tian Hu and the others in her eyes at all. Now, she even said that they were trash in front of Tian Hu. This naturally made Tian Hu and the others furious. Ha ha! The skeleton laughed and at the same time rubbed Fan Yubing's chest hard. That's right, who else in the Milky Way star field is my opponent? Not to mention a mere Rong family. Even the Tianji Palace is not in my eyes. After bringing me to destroy the Rong family, I will go and destroy that mysterious Tianji Palace. I have long been annoyed with them. Hearing this, a hint of joy flashed in the depths of Tian He and the others' eyes. Unlike the skeleton, who had just advanced to the celestial realm, they had dominated the Milky Way star field for a long time. During this period, they had also come into contact with the Tianji Palace many times and knew some things about it. The more they knew how terrifying the Tianji Palace was. If the skeleton really dared to attack the Tianji Palace, the skeleton would be the one to die in the end. Once the skeleton died, then Tian He and the others would regain their freedom. Sir, the Tianji Palace has been pretending to be mysterious all day long, and we have been annoyed with them for a long time. I suggest that we immediately raze the Tianji Palace to the ground. A cold, killing intent flashed in the depths of Tian Hu's eyes as he said loudly. Tian He, Ren Wang, and the other celestial realm powerhouses quickly agreed, suggesting the skeleton to attack the Tianji Palace. Sir, the Tianji Palace has a mysterious origin, and I'm afraid they are very powerful. These people actually instigated you to attack the Tianji Palace, and I'm afraid they want you to fall into danger. They really deserve to be punished. Fan Yubing interrupted at this time. This bitch. Tian Hu and the others were about to grind their teeth to pieces, and they wished they could slap Fan Yubing to death. A hint of killing intent flashed in the skeleton's eyes. You want me to die? The skeleton's voice was not loud, but it was like thunder in the ears of Tian Hu and the others. They could even feel the skeleton's murderous intent. They did not hesitate at all. If they were not still useful, the skeleton would have already killed them. Sir, how could we have such thoughts? The Tianji Palace is just a force that pretends to be mysterious, and they don't even have a celestial realm powerhouse. I just want you to unify the Milky Way star field as soon as possible. Tian, who hurriedly said in fear and trepidation. Yes, that's what we meant. Tian, he and the others quickly explained. A bunch of trash. A hint of killing intent flashed in the skeleton's eyes, but for some reason, he did not continue to blame them. Today, let me destroy the Rong family. The skeleton snorted coldly, and appeared outside the Rong family with Fan Yubing in his arms. As for Sky Crane and the others, they followed behind in fear. Trash, watch me break the Rong family's array. The skeleton laughed arrogantly, and then punched the air, fiercely blasting toward the Rong family's array. Boom! The Rong family's array trembled violently, and a light burst into the sky. At the same time, inside the Rong family's array, bang, 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 some buildings, flowers, and the like were directly shattered. Even some of the weaker cultivators in the Rong family vomited blood from the shock. Naturally, the one who suffered the most was Tianming, who bore the brunt of it all. He did not expect the skeleton to suddenly attack, so he vomited blood from the shock. It's over. If the skeleton attacks directly, the Rong family's array will be lucky if it can last for a month. Tianming took out a large number of elixirs to heal his injured body, and then said with a gloomy face, the Rong family's array could withstand the full attack of Tian he and the others for 10 months, but it could only withstand the skeleton for 1 month. Moreover, this was the most optimistic scenario. After all, the skeleton did not use his full strength just now. If the skeleton used his full strength, how long could the Rong family's array last? Tianming did not even dare to think about it. Chapter 21-23. Boom. After failing to break the Rong family's formation, the skeleton's face darkened, and it immediately launched a second attack. However, this time, Tianming and the Rong family were prepared. They were no longer injured. However, the thing inside was once again damaged. However, the Rong family's formation wasn't made of paper. The skeleton's second attack didn't destroy the formation. According to Tianming's estimation, with the skeleton's current strength, the Rong family's formation could only last for a day. Only 1 day. Tianming's eyes flashed. It's time to take the final step. If Murong Yu doesn't appear in a day, we can only withdraw from the Rong family. The Rong family's formation was only one of Tianming's methods. In the depths of the Rong family's residence, there were several transmission channels that led to other places. These transmission channels had always been well protected by Tianming. In fact, apart from him, only the Rong family's patriarch was qualified to know about the existence of these transmission channels. After all, those transmission channels were their last life-saving trump card. With an order, everyone in the Rong family had gathered. Under the leadership of the Rong family's patriarch, they had already arrived near the transmission channels. However, they didn't immediately teleport. Tianming wasn't willing to withdraw until the last moment. What's more, Murong Yu was still refining pills. Once they retreated, Murong Yu would be exposed to the skeletons. And Murong Yu was Tianming's reliance to become stronger. Therefore, Tianming didn't want anything to happen to Murong Yu. Therefore, Tianming directly guarded outside Murong Yu's room, protecting Murong Yu. Seeing that time was constantly passing, the Rong family's formation was about to collapse. The formation can only last for 2 hours at most. Since that's the case, I can only leave. Tianming muttered in his heart, and his big hand suddenly reached out, directly grabbing the room where Murong Yu was. Murong Yu was actually cultivating in Hichu Luoshu. However, Hichu Luoshu had turned into an extremely small particle, and Tianming couldn't detect it at all. Because he didn't search for it, he didn't want to disturb Murong Yu. Therefore, he could only take away the room where Hichu Luoshu was. However, just as he reached out his big hand to grab the room, a smiling Murong Yu appeared in his sight. Tianming, what are you doing? As soon as Murong Yu appeared, he saw Tianming's opponent swiftly making a grab for him, causing him to jump in shock. Tianming was also startled. Who knew that Murong Yu would suddenly appear? He almost grabbed Murong Yu's hand? If Murong Yu misunderstood that he was attacking him, then it would be disastrous. So Tianming's, he's, and Murong Dragon, Murong Yu frowned slightly. Has Skeleton made a move? However, his frown soon relaxed. Tianming, if you can break through to the second level of the celestial realm, are you confident that you can defeat Skeleton? Tianming pondered for a moment, then slowly said, I'm not absolutely sure. But if we're at the same level, it won't be so easy for Skeleton to defeat me. However, there's less than 2 hours left. Even if you succeed in refining the celestial pill, I won't be able to break through. After all, even with the help of the pill, it's not easy to break through. Murong Yu smiled slightly. It's good that you're confident. As for time? Time is like opportunity, it's created. 2 hours is enough. How is 2 hours enough? Tianming looked at Murong Yu with some doubts. He didn't believe that 2 hours was enough. However, at this time, Murong Yu had already asked him to enter the Hichu Luoshu. A large pile of celestial pills immediately appeared in front of Tianming, causing his heart to skip a beat. If these massive amounts of celestial pills were really as effective as Murong Yu said, then not only would he be able to break through to the second level of the celestial realm, but he would also be able to break through to the third level of the celestial realm, or even higher levels. But the premise was that he had enough time. Maybe you don't know that this treasure of mine is not only a spatial treasure, but it can also accelerate time. So 2 hours is enough. As he spoke, Murong Yu had already activated the time acceleration. Tianming was overjoyed. If this was true, then 2 hours was really enough. So Tianming didn't dawdle anymore. He sat down cross-legged and quickly entered a state of cultivation. On the other hand, Murong Yu had already accelerated time to the maximum. A year had passed in the Hichu Luoshu, but only a moment had passed outside. How many moments were there in 2 hours? While Tianming was cultivating, Murong Yu left the Hichu Luoshu and appeared in the Rong family's residence. Although Tianming said that the Rong family's formation could still last for 2 hours. But who knew? If the Rong family's formation was destroyed while he was cultivating, the Rong family would be slaughtered by the skeleton. This was a scene that Murong Yu didn't want to see. Sure enough, the skeleton was obviously angry. After bombarding the Rong family's formation for almost 2 hours, the skeleton's attacks were getting sharper and sharper. And the result was that the Rong family's formation could last for much less time. At most, it could last for a quarter of an hour. The Rong family's patriarch had already opened the teleportation formation and was about to teleport everyone away. At this time, in the Hichu Luoshu, Tianming's body suddenly trembled violently for a while. Afterwards, a presence that was at least 100 times more powerful than before suddenly erupted from his body, shattering large swathes of space in the surroundings. He had finally broken through to the second level of the celestial realm. Tianming laughed heartily. But soon, his expression became serious. This was because he had been cultivating for hundreds of years. What's wrong with the Rong family? Tianming's heart sank and he wanted to stand up. But at this time, Murong Yu's voice sounded in his ears. The Rong family's formation can still hold on for a while. You can consolidate your cultivation. Don't be defeated by the skeleton as soon as you make a move. Tianming heaved a sigh of relief and continued to cultivate. After 10 days to half a month, he had already consolidated his cultivation at the second level of the celestial realm. So, he stood up and stepped out of the Hichu Luoshu. Murong Yu had let him out. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to come out. Boom, boom, boom. The skeleton was still attacking the Rong family's formation, and it was obvious that it couldn't hold on for much longer. You don't have to leave. I've broken through, Tianming said to the people of the Rong family after scanning with his divine telekinesis. Then, he tore the formation apart and stepped out. Just as Skeleton was about to throw out a punch, his vision blurred, and two figures appeared in his line of sight. It was Tianming and Morongyu. Tianming, you coward, you finally dare to come out? Tian he immediately mocked. Tianming looked at Tian he and the other celestial realm powerhouses with disdain. These people were afraid of death. In order to save their own lives, they didn't hesitate to become the skeleton's lackeys. It made him feel very ashamed. So, he only glanced at Tian he and the others and ignored them. He only looked at the skeleton's face. Seeing the disdain and shamelessness in Tianming's eyes, Tian he and the others were like cats whose tails had been stepped on. They immediately jumped up. Tian he stepped out of the crowd and turned into a stream of light that charged at Tianming. In the process, he punched out fiercely. The disdain on Tianming's face became even more intense. In the face of Tian he's all-out punch, he casually pointed his finger. He's too arrogant. Does he really think he's a level 2 celestial realm powerhouse? Tian he and the others sneered when they saw how arrogant Tianming was. Poof! In the blink of an eye, the two attacks collided in the void. After a muffled sound, Tianming's finger did not move. However, Tian he's entire fist and arm had turned into dust. It was destroyed by Tianming's finger. Sky he was shocked, but Tianming's finger didn't stop at all. It was still pointing at Sky he's body. With Tianming's current strength, he could destroy Tian he's body with a single finger. A strong aura of death rose in Tian he's heart, causing his expression to change drastically. At the same time, he had already retreated. However, no matter how fast he was, Tianming was even faster. For the sake of our old friendship, I won't kill you today. Tianming sneered. The finger that was pointing at Tian he changed to a slash and landed on Tian he's body. Bang! A powerful force surged into Sky he's body, shaking it so much that Sky he's entire body almost burst apart. However, Tianming did not intend to kill Tian he. Therefore, he only sent him flying. Even so, Sky Crane was still severely injured. Blood spurted out of his mouth as he flew through the air. Seeing this, everyone's expression changed, including Skeleton's. Level 2 Celestial Realm. You've broken through. Tian who looked at Tianming in disbelief. His eyes were filled with shock. The others had the same expression as him. In contrast to Tian he and the others' shock, disbelief, and complicated expressions, Skeleton's face was gloomy. Originally, he was the only level 2 celestial realm cultivator in the Milky Way star field. He was the strongest person in the entire star field. However, Tianming had also broken through. Was this not equal to him? No, Tianming must die. The killing intent in Skeleton's heart soared. He threw Fan Yubing out and slowly walked towards Tianming. Very good. You've broken through. I could have spared your life, but now you must die. Skeleton said coldly. His killing intent surged. Tianming's killing intent soared. At the same time, he stepped out. We're all level 2 celestial realm cultivators. Let's see who will live and who will die. As he spoke, Tianming took the initiative to attack. He threw a punch that carried the power to destroy the world at Skeleton. Skeleton did not show any weakness. He threw a punch in the air. A battle between level 2 celestial realm cultivators broke out in an instant. Chapter 21-24. Whoosh! While the two celestial realm experts were fighting, Morongyu retreated and rushed into the Rong family. At the same time, Tianhe, Tianhu, and the others quickly retreated. After all, Tianming and Skeleton, who were both at the second level of the celestial realm, were much stronger than them. Even the aftermath of the overflowing power could seriously injure them or even kill them. Therefore, they did not dare to stay here and retreated far away. How terrifying was the battle between celestial realm experts! Murong Yu did not know. He only saw that the void in front of him was about to explode. The speed of their attacks was extremely fast. With Murong Yu's current strength, he was unable to clearly see how they attacked. As for divine consciousness, before they could even get close, they had already been shattered by the overflowing energy. In other words, Murong Yu did not see anything at all. However, he was not too worried. Even if the skeleton had obtained the inheritance, Tianming's strength was not weak either. Under Tianming's guidance, the two of them were getting farther and farther away from the Rong family. Otherwise, if they fought next to the Rong family's formation would be easily destroyed. Tianhe and the others followed the two of them. This was a battle between celestial realm experts, so it was very valuable for them to learn from. Watching them fight might give them some insights that they could not comprehend before. In fact, they might even make use of the battle between Tianming and the skeleton to break through to the next level. Therefore, the Rong family's side was deserted. Without the celestial realm experts, even if Tianming brought many people, they could not break the Rong family's formation. Moreover, these people were not in Murong Yu's eyes at all. If they dared to attack the Rong family, Murong Yu would be the first to welcome them. Murong Yu's welcome would definitely make them feel cold. Murong Yu would use all his strength to kill them. After half a day, Tianming finally returned. Although he looked a little haggard, he seemed to be in good spirits. Before Murong Yu could ask, Tianming said, "Skeleton and I fought to a draw. Neither of us could do anything to the other. In the end, we stopped fighting. Presumably, as long as I'm here, Skeleton won't touch the Rong family and the solar system." Murong Yu nodded. As long as Skeleton did not attack the solar system, so what if he became the overlord of the Milky Way? However, with Skeleton's ambition, he would never let go of the solar system and the Rong family. This was just a temporary compromise. Murong Yu was not worried about this. As long as he increased his cultivation by a few more minor realms, he would be able to easily destroy the skeletons. Tianming spent the rest of his time rebuilding the Rong clan. Murong Yu also built a teleportation channel between the Rong family and the sun, just in case. Then, Murong Yu made a trip to the Heavenly Mystery Palace. However, the exchange meeting of the Heavenly Mystery Palace had yet to begin. However, the elders of the Heavenly Mystery Palace urged Murong Yu to improve his strength as much as possible. It would be best if he could improve to the celestial realm before going to the exchange meeting. Murong Yu only rolled his eyes at the elders' suggestion. The exchange meeting was going to be held soon. Where would he have time to improve his realm? If it was just cultivation and physical body, Murong Yu could still improve to the creation realm. However, there was no quick way to improve his soul. If power can form a vortex, then can soul power do the same? Murong Yu suddenly had this thought, and it could not be stopped. Murong Yu had already seen the power of the vortex. If soul power can also form a vortex, then the lethality of soul attacks will be even more terrifying. Anyway, he had nothing to do. After Murong Yu returned to the solar system, he began to study this matter. Of course, he also created a power clone to guide Murong, Xian, and the others in their cultivation. Under his guidance, Murong, Xian, and the others were thrown into the rising Sun Dao Mansion to cultivate. Therefore, their cultivation soared by leaps and bounds, not to be outdone by some super geniuses in the endless starry sky. In fact, they even surpassed some geniuses. As long as they were given time, they would soon improve to the creation realm, or even the celestial realm, or the true self realm. Of course, this would take some time. Soul power and ordinary power were all power, but soul power was more ethereal, invisible, and intangible. However, it really existed. This was especially true for Murong Yu, who was a soul cultivator. Controlling soul power and controlling ordinary energy was a piece of cake. Moreover, because of the previous experience of condensing a power vortex, Murong-Yu quickly condensed small vortexes with his soul power this time. However, it was easy to form small vortexes, but it was difficult to fuse two vortexes, or even more vortexes, into a larger vortex. Moreover, the danger was much greater than the power. After all, the explosion of power would only cause his meridians and even his physical body to explode. However, if the soul power exploded, it could also cause the soul sphere to explode. Once the soul sphere exploded, Murong-Yu would return to his pre-liberation state overnight. Everything would have to start from the beginning. Then, he would need a lot of time to reach his current realm. That was not the most serious thing. The most serious thing was that once his primordial spirit was also affected and shattered, Murong-Yu would be crippled even if he did not die. Therefore, he was very careful with every attempt. However, what made Murong-Yu pleasantly surprised was that when his soul power formed a small whirlpool, the three soul spheres began to rotate even faster. The soul spheres mainly relied on rotation to absorb the soul power drifting between heaven and earth. The faster they spun, the more soul power they absorbed. The more soul power they absorbed, the easier it would be to break through the soul realm. This was definitely a good thing for Murong-Yu. Not only could it increase the lethality of soul attacks, but it could also increase the speed of absorbing soul power, killing two birds with one stone. While Murong-Yu was cultivating his soul, the skeleton had already conquered the entire Milky Way star field. With the help of 8 celestial realm powerhouses, the skeleton only took a few years to rule the entire Milky Way star field. Of course, the Milky Way star field ruled by the skeleton was excluding the Rong family, the solar system, and the Tianji palace. The solar system and the Rong family had become thorns in the flesh and eyesores of the skeleton. Murong-Yu and Tianming both knew that the skeleton would make a move on them sooner or later. Perhaps after the skeleton broke through to the 3rd level of the celestial realm? It was said that after unifying the Milky Way star field, the skeleton went into seclusion and announced that he was going to break through to the 3rd level of the celestial realm. He could break through to the 3rd level of the celestial realm in such a short time? After this news came out, Tianming frowned slightly. Therefore, he also seized the time to cultivate. Otherwise, if he waited until the skeleton broke through to the 3rd level of the celestial realm, he would be the first to die. On the other hand, Tianhe and the others were getting more and more desperate. They had persuaded the skeleton to attack the Tianji palace several times, but he did not do so. Now, he was going to break through to the 3rd level of the celestial realm. Tianhu and the others felt that they would never be able to escape from the skeleton's claws in this lifetime, and could only become the skeleton's lackeys. Murong-Yu did not care about all of this. Even if he cared, he could not do anything. Therefore, he only continued to cultivate. In the blink of an eye, 10 years had passed. On this day, Murong-Yu suddenly opened his eyes from his cultivation. At the same time, a terrifying aura erupted from his body and swept across the world. I finally succeeded. Although it's just 2 vortexes fusing into a larger vortex. But now, the lethality has increased by 50% compared to before. With the help of my cultivation, who below the celestial realm can be my opponent? Murong-Yu laughed with a confident look on his face. However, the smile on his face soon froze, but in the next moment, his smile became even brighter. Is my soul finally going to break through? After reaching the 6th stage of the creation realm, even if a heaven-tier elite wants to kill me, it won't be easy. As he pondered, he too and Luo Shu had already teleported into the Xingyang Dao Mansion's netherworld insight region. Cultivate. A year later, Murong-Yu's soul broke through from the 5th level of the insight realm to the 6th level of the insight realm. His strength increased again. After stabilizing his cultivation, Morong Yu began to try to break through his cultivation and physical body. With the support of a large number of crystals from the Xingyang Dao mansion, Morong Yu broke through to the 6th level of the insight realm without any suspense. His soul, cultivation, and physical body had all reached the 6th level of the insight realm. His combat strength had also jumped to the peak of the Genesis realm, and he was undoubtedly the strongest person below the celestial realm. If he encountered cultivators at the level of Luan Ruiming and Kong Jiaping at this time, Morong Yu could kill them with one punch. The number 1 on the 100 talents list was not just for show. If it's a sneak attack, killing a cultivator at the 1st level of the celestial realm won't be a problem. Feeling his powerful strength, Morong Yu's confidence skyrocketed. After stabilizing his cultivation, Morong Yu immediately left the Xingyang Dao mansion, pulled Tianming out and fought around. However, the more tragic thing was that Morong Yu was only being abused. There was no other way. Tianming was a cultivator at the 2nd level of the celestial realm, and Morong Yu was only at the 6th level of the insight realm. The gap was too big. However, Tianming was still in a daze. Morong Yu's battle prowess was already on par with Tian He and the others. It was too terrifying, too perverse. The more perverse Morong Yu was, the more determined Tianming's heart was to follow Morong Yu. He knew that once Morong Yu rose, his achievements would definitely not be bad. If I fuse the 4 power vortexes into a larger vortex, then I'll have 3 more power vortexes. Or, if the 3 soul force whirlpools form a larger whirlpool, my fighting strength will be even more terrifying. Morong Yu continued to prepare for his cultivation. However, he received a message from the elder of the mysterious heavenly palace, Yen Jingtian. The exchange meeting of the various branches of the mysterious heavenly palace was about to begin, and Morong Yu was to rush over immediately. Chapter 21-25. It was an exchange meeting between the various branches of the mysterious heavenly palace. It sounded so nice, but it was actually a competition to determine who was better. In the mysterious heavenly palace, although each major branch was a branch of the mysterious heavenly palace, there was also a competitive relationship. Each major branch was actually a competitor. What were they competing for? For cultivators, they were competing for resources. However, there were 2 kinds of resources. One was the pills, weapons, cultivation techniques, treasures, and so on that ordinary cultivators needed. Another kind of resource was the star field. There were countless branches of the mysterious heavenly palace. Some were in some relatively powerful star fields, while others were located in remote places like the Milky Way star field. Some places were even more remote than the Milky Way star field. In such a remote place, there was not enough heaven and earth origin chi, and there were no high-level treasures in this star field. Therefore, the strength of the branch overseeing this place could not be improved. It was fine in a short period of time, but after a long time, the gap between them and the other branches would quickly widen. Whether it was training disciples or their own cultivation, the gap would get bigger and bigger. Just like the Milky Way star field branch, the Great Elder and the others had not had a breakthrough for many years. If this continued, it would be impossible for them to break through to a higher realm. And the elders of the branches that were similar to them in the past, those elders who occupied good positions, perhaps their strength had far surpassed the Great Elder of the Milky Way star field. Therefore, when they discovered Morong Yu, this heaven-defying existence, the Great Elder immediately accepted him as their only official disciple. This was because Morong Yu carried the possibility of them reaching a higher star field. When Morong Yu returned to the mysterious heavenly palace, the Great Elder and Yen Jingtian were already prepared. This time, only the 2 of them and Morong Yu were on the road. Great Elder, after we leave, can the mysterious heavenly palace increase the safety of the solar system? I don't need the mysterious heavenly palace to do anything to the skeleton. I just want the solar system not to be destroyed by the skeleton. Morong-yu pondered for a while and finally expressed his worries. As for destroying the skeleton? Morong-yu believed that the mysterious heavenly palace had this ability. Because from the beginning to the end, he could not see through the great elder, Yen Jingtian, and the others. Though they all looked to be at the peak stage of the Genesis tier, they gave Morong-yu a feeling of profound mystery. In fact, Morong-yu could sense that any one of them was far stronger than a level 2 sky human stage cultivator like Tianming. After all, it was just as Yen Jingtian had said. If the mysterious heavenly palace was really so terrifying and powerful, the strength of their branch elders should not be so weak. Actually, since the elders of the heavenly mystery palace were so powerful, then Morong-yu could totally ask them to take action and exterminate the skeleton. But Morong-yu didn't want to do that. That was because he didn't need it. It was best for him to deal with a strong enemy like skeleton with his own hand. Moreover, Morong-yu would only feel immense pressure when a powerhouse like skeleton was standing on top of his head. Only with pressure would he have the motivation to cultivate. Should we directly kill skeleton? A cold glint flashed across Yen Jingtian's eyes. If Morong-yu nodded, he would immediately take action and go forward to remove skeleton's head. An existence of this level was already a huge threat to Morong-yu. He didn't want Morong-yu to be hurt or threatened in any way. Morong-yu shook his head. He would deal with skeleton himself. Alright, you don't have to worry. Even if skeleton advances a few more small realms, he won't be able to threaten the solar system, Yen Jingtian said indifferently with incomparable confidence. However, his performance shocked Morong-yu. What realm had Yen Jingtian's strength reached? What about the Great Elder and the others? Could it be that they were at the high-level sky human stage? Yen Jingtian and the others did not say this to Morong-yu. Instead, they directly brought Morong-yu on their way. Teleportation array. They teleported all the way and soon left the Milky Way star field. This was Morong-yu's first time leaving the star field. In our universe, there are as many star fields as there are grains of sand in the Ganges. Some star fields are very remote, resulting in their overall strength not being strong enough. Some star fields even have no cultivators at all. But some star fields are very powerful. How powerful? Are true self-realm powerhouses everywhere? Morong-yu asked somewhat curiously. Yen Jingtian only smiled. Our universe is extremely vast. It can be said to be a boundless existence. How many star fields are there? No one knows. Our mysterious sky palace is also considered powerful in the universe, but we only control 100 million star fields. 100 million star fields? Morong-yu was stunned. To be able to control 100 million star fields, how terrifying was their strength? What's the most powerful existence in the mysterious sky palace? Peak true self-realm? Or a higher realm? Morong-yu asked again. Above true self-realm is selfless realm. Our mysterious sky palace has selfless realm existences. As for a higher realm, is there? I don't know about this. I haven't reached that height yet, so I'm not qualified to understand. Yen Jingtian explained impatiently. Morong-yu nodded. This was very normal. Just like now, he was not qualified to understand true self-realm powerhouses at all. Even celestial realm powerhouses were not qualified to understand. Mysterious Sky Palace controls 100 million star fields, then doesn't it have 100 million branches? Are we competing with 100 million branches? Yen Jingtian nodded. Don't worry. Even if our Milky Way star field is relatively remote, some star fields are far inferior to the Milky Way star field. Moreover, with your potential, I'm afraid there's no abnormal existence like you in the 100 million star fields. If you're chosen by the big shots in the headquarters, a meteoric rise is not a problem at all. Yen Jingtian and the others didn't mind Morong-yu joining the headquarters. Moreover, they hoped that Morong-yu would join the headquarters the most. Then, they cultivated a heaven-defying existence like Morong-yu, so the headquarters would definitely reward them. Moreover, Morong-yu came from the Milky Way star field after all, and had a good relationship with them. As the saying goes, when a man achieves the Tao, even his chickens and dogs will ascend to heaven. The higher Morong-yu's status, the more benefits they would receive. In the universe, how many forces at the level of the mysterious Sky Palace are there? Or are there forces even stronger than the mysterious Sky Palace? Morong-yu wanted to know all these. After all, the endless starry sky was really too big. And how many realms did he have to go through to reach the level of Chaos Controller? Then, was the universe that Yen Jingtian was talking about the entire endless chaos? In the universe there are countless forces. There are many forces at the level of the mysterious Sky Palace, and there are also forces stronger than the mysterious Sky Palace. But there are even more forces that are smaller than the mysterious Sky Palace. In the endless starry sky, only forces that control at least one star field can be called a force. The other smaller forces can't be considered a force at all. They're all unrated, Yen Jingtian said lightly. Morong-yu rolled his eyes. In that case, Shenzhen was actually not considered a force. However, Morong-yu believed that this was only temporary. In the future, Shenzhen would be the most powerful force in the entire chaos. Chaos Shenzhen. In the following time, Morong-yu learned a lot about the endless starry sky from the Great Elder and Yen Jingtian. This broadened his horizons and enriched his knowledge. The mysterious sky star field was where the headquarters of the mysterious Sky Palace was located. Morong-yu and the other two were rushing to the mysterious sky star field. Nothing happened along the way through the teleportation array, so they arrived at the mysterious sky star field very smoothly. Milky Way star field branch? After the disciples in charge of receiving the mysterious Sky Palace learned where Morong-yu and the others came from, their faces revealed a hint of disdain. Silver Wing Planet is your temporary residence. Go. The receiving disciple threw a token to the Great Elder and then looked into the distance, no longer looking at Morong-yu and the other two. Morong-yu also noticed that some of the receiving disciples next to him were respectfully leading some of the branches to their residence. The Great Elder and Yen Jingtian's faces instantly turned ugly. What? You're still not going? Do you dislike Silver Wing Planet? Seeing that Morong-yu and the other two had not left for a long time, the receiving disciple of the mysterious Sky Palace asked with a cold face. Silver Wing Planet is a barren planet, a place where even birds don't shit. Why are we arranged to go there? Yen Jingtian said with some displeasure. What? Could it be that you still want to go to the mysterious Sky Star? Are those planets where a branch like you can go? The Milky Way star field, bah. Trash that can't even nurture an official disciple. Haha, you're wrong. Isn't that little Insight Realm cultivator their official disciple? Although this competition is carried out in a very high level. But he can definitely be first, because the other branches don't have any Insight Realm disciples at all. The receiving disciples laughed loudly and mocked the Milky Way branch to their heart's content. We're being looked down upon. Morong-yu's heart sank. The status of the Milky Way star field branch was actually so low? Even a receiving disciple could be casually humiliated. Forget it, let's go to Silver Wing Planet. The Great Elder was still calmer. He held back Yen Jingtian, who was about to explode, and flew in the direction of Silver Wing Planet first. What the hell are you? You snobbish playthings! Yen Jingtian cursed indignantly. If the Great Elder had not held him back, he would definitely have taken action to teach those idiots a lesson. No matter how trashy the Milky Way branch was, he was still an elder of the Milky Way branch. His status was not something a receiving disciple could compare to. Moreover, that receiving disciple was only at the Genesis realm. Was he qualified to mock him? I didn't expect our branch's status to be so low. I already have a premonition of what will happen next. Morong Yu said with a dark face and looked at the Great Elder and Yen Jingtian speechlessly. The Great Elder's expression still did not change, but Yen Jingtian smiled embarrassedly. You'll get used to it. Chapter 21-26. Morong Yu's face turned black, and he immediately did not speak. Very soon, they arrived outside Silver Wing Planet. Silver Wing Planet, the name was quite domineering. But in reality, it was a planet where birds did not shit. However, because it was within the scope of the Tianji starfield, it was considered a planet of the Tianji Palace. The entire planet was enveloped by a large array. If one did not have a token, they could not force their way in. If they forced their way in, the Tianji Palace would think that you were attacking the Tianji Palace. Then, there would be powerhouses of the Tianji Palace coming out to welcome you. Thanks to the token, Morong Yu and the others were able to enter Silverwing Star without any hindrance. It was the same size as the sun. But the heaven and earth essence energy here was even more outrageous than the sun. Moreover, the entire planet was withered, and there were not even many green plants. It was really a place where birds did not shit. It's still okay, although there's nothing here. But the three of us have a planet, the environment is still okay, Morong Yu said to comfort himself. Brat, you're too easily satisfied, Yen Jingtian said with a black face. Morong Yu merely chuckled. To him, this wasn't a big deal. As for those guys who look down on people, why bother so much with them? As the saying goes, being bitten by a dog, we can't bite back, right? Then wouldn't he become a dog too? However, what Morong Yu did not know was that Yen Jingtian was not angry because of those few reception disciples looking down on people. He was angry because of this arrangement. If not for the Tianji Palace having this intention, how could these reception disciples dare to make such an arrangement? Arranging them in this kind of place where birds did not shit was simply an insult to them. However, Yen Jingtian also knew that the Milky Way branch had always been at the bottom of the many branches. Just as he said, he was already used to it. However, if Morong Yu was able to shine this time, they'd be able to hold their heads up high. After using a great ability to construct a house, Morong Yu's group of three moved in. Anyway, they would only be here for a few days. After the competition, they would leave this place. Among the 100 million branches, some branches' disciples have reached the heaven realm, while some branches' disciples are only at the creation realm. However, there definitely wouldn't be any profound insight realm existences. Thus, this time, I will arrange for you to participate in the Genesis tier competition. Do you have any problems with that? The Great Elder asked Morong Yu. Morong Yu shook his head. If it's not a celestial realm expert, I dare say that I'm invincible under the celestial realm. Morong Yu said confidently. Soul Maelstrom, Power Maelstrom, Shadow Trampling Power, Blade of Chaos and the others. Due to that, Morong Yu could even put up a fight against a level 1 sky human stage cultivator, let alone a battle of this level. Good. If you, Morong Yu, can seize first place in the creation realm, we will be able to hold our heads high. Moreover, we can also choose a rank 1 starfield and move our branch there. Yen Jingtian laughed. Morong Yu frowned slightly. If Yen Jingtian and the others moved away, what would happen to the solar system? Morong Yu couldn't move Chaos Shenzhen away too. After all, Shenzhen wasn't like the Milky Way branch, which only had a few people. However, things would go straight when the time came. Morong Yu was too lazy to think about this now. He was more interested in the rank 1 starfield that Yen Jingtian mentioned. In the Tianji Palace, we divide all the starfields into 9 levels. From the highest to the lowest, they are rank 1 to rank 9. Rank 1 is the highest, and rank 9 is the lowest. For example, the Milky Way starfield is a rank 9 starfield, the bottom of the starfield. As you can see, the branch in the Milky Way starfield is looked down upon by others, and those branches in the rank 1 starfield are full of talents, and their comprehensive strength is very strong. Even the headquarters don't dare to underestimate them. The rank 1 branch has great power, but it's not as good as the headquarters. The other resources are only second to the headquarters. In some aspects, the rank 1 branch is even better than the headquarters. While speaking, Yan Jingtian's face revealed an envious expression. The most important thing is that the branches below rank 1 are all under the jurisdiction of the rank 1 branch. The great elder interjected. Murong Yu's eyes suddenly lit up. This was definitely a fat job. The benefits of being able to govern the branches below were very terrifying. For example, the filial piety of the branches below. However, among the 100 million branches of the Tianji Palace, there are only a mere 36 rank 1 branches. And basically, the disciples of the rank 1 branch are the most outstanding among the 100 million branches. Every time, no one can overturn them. Murong Yu knew that the more powerful branches could have more than one disciple. Unlike the Milky Way branch, which only had him as an official disciple. So, Yan Jingtian looked at Murong Yu with eyes full of hope. If you can get first place in the Genesis realm, we may be one of the 36 rank 1 branches. Kid, with your identity, when you go out, you'll be equivalent to the level of the elders of other branches. A smile appeared on Murong Yu's face. If that was the case, there would be many benefits for him. Don't worry, the rank 1 branch is ours for sure. Murong Yu smiled faintly, incomparably confident. Murong Yu didn't have anything to do with the rest of the time. Moreover, because the planet only allowed people with tokens to enter and exit, it was impossible for the people of the other branches to come over and provoke them. There was no other way. They couldn't enter at all. How could they provoke them? As for the matter of arranging Murong Yu's disdain, it was left to the great elder. Murong Yu hid in the Hichu Luoshu and continued to cultivate. When his soul was still at the 5th level of the insight realm, Murong Yu's soul vortex could only fuse 2 by 2. But now he was at the 6th level of the insight realm. Therefore, he wanted to try fusing 3 small vortexes into a larger vortex. If he succeeded, his strength would skyrocket again. However, the soul aspect was really too dangerous. Murong Yu had to be very careful. Moreover, in this competition, he didn't want to use soul force, because he didn't want others to know that he was a soul cultivator. After pondering for a while, Murong Yu finally gave up on cultivating his soul and turned to cultivating his strength. His strength realm also broke through the realm. Theoretically speaking, he could condense 4 energy vortexes. Time acceleration. Murong Yu directly activated the time acceleration to the maximum. Ever since he became the only official disciple of the Heavenly Mystery Palace's Milky Way branch, he didn't have to worry about origin crystals anymore. The Heavenly Mystery Palace's Milky Way branch provided him with a huge amount of origin crystals. Therefore, he was no longer like before, saving them. It was just that cultivation wasn't so easy to succeed. Otherwise, in the entire universe there would be a large number of powerhouses, and not like now, where low-level cultivators occupied the majority. Under the situation of time acceleration, Murong Yu cultivated for another several tens of thousands of years. But he was still unable to fuse the 4 energy vortexes into a larger vortex. Instead, it was his physical body that had been blasted apart countless times. My strength is still not high enough. Could it be that I have to reach the celestial realm before I can fuse more energy vortexes? Murong Yu thought in his heart, and then came out of the Hichu Luoshu. It wasn't too far to reach the celestial realm's strength. As long as he broke through to the 7th level of the insight realm, it would be enough. And with his cultivation speed, he believed that it would be very soon. And once he broke through to the celestial realm's combat strength, he could deal with Skeleton. Of course, the premise was that Skeleton didn't continue to break through and reach the 3rd level of the celestial realm. Otherwise, Murong Yu was still not his opponent. Let's go, the competition is about to begin. Let's go to the knowledge planet first. Not long after Morong Yu came out, Yen Jingtian came over. Then, the three of them left the Silver Wing planet and flew toward the knowledge planet. On the way, Morong Yu saw many elders and their disciples of the branch. Some of them were known to the great elder and Yen Jingtian. After seeing each other, they either greeted each other or mocked and ridiculed each other. The knowledge planet was where the Divine Mystery Palace was located. It was an extremely high-level origin planet and incomparably huge. Morong Yu didn't enter the Divine Mystery Palace's headquarters, because he didn't have the qualifications. Instead, he was brought to a huge square by the Great Elder and Yen Jingtian. He found a seat that belonged to the Milky Way star region and sat down. It seems that the Milky Way branch really has no status. This position, looking at the position of the Milky Way branch at the outermost edge of the square, Morong Yu couldn't help but smile helplessly. The Great Elder's expression was still the same, but Yen Jingtian's face was dark. They had been sitting in this position for many years. Moreover, the seats next to them were all old acquaintances. They were all branches with no status. He Qingji, it's rare that you finally brought your disciples to participate in the competition this time? 6th level of the Insight Realm? You're not here to compete but to be funny, right? Morong Yu hadn't even warmed up his seat when a mocking voice rang in his ears. Morong Yu looked towards the source of the voice and saw a fatty sitting down beside them with a fake smile on his face. The Great Elder, who was He Qingji, just glanced at him indifferently and said indifferently, "This time, your Xuanyu star region wants to compete for the 8th level branch? Or compete for the 7th level star region? I seem to remember that you always say that you want to compete for the 8th level star region, right? I hope you can successfully advance this time." Hearing that, the fatty's expression instantly turned ugly. Hee, this time we can at least advance to the 8th level branch. And your Milky Way star region will continue to be at the bottom. An elder from the Xuanyu star region said coldly. I'll always have you as my companion, Yen Jingtian said indifferently. This made the fatty and the other two vomit blood. Hee, this trash wants to compete with me? What a joke. The 9th level Genesis Realm cultivator from the Xuanyu star region sneered, looking at Morong Yu with eyes full of contempt. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.